26 of the Xbox Live Party Podcast. My name is Ash, aka I'm a Ghostbuster, and today I am joined by our good friends. We've got Fabio, as always. We've got Slayer Exclusive Gaming. We've got the Jinner Gaming. We've got False Alucard, and we are joined by a very special guest, Logic, from Sensei's Thoughts Podcast. How are you, good sir?
What's up, bro? How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm excited to be on, man.
Was a long time coming.
Happy to have you.
Okay, all right. Let's not. We can't. The guy's not even here yet. Like, don't do that to him. Don't do that.
How dare? How dare you had him as a guest on your live show? What are you doing? How dare you?
He's actually he's in the game chat now. If you want to try to bring him down.
He's in game night chat, yeah.
Yeah, game night chat.
I can't see that, unfortunately, so someone else is going to have to wind him up slightly.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll jump straight in before we get to the topics. Obviously, this week's topics, we've got stuff like more game delays, more game acquisitions. We've got possible new South Park game coming. Jinner's gone. He's just disappeared as well. So we've got loads of cool stuff to talk about, but we'll jump straight in with what we've been playing this week. Alucard, do you want to get started off? What have you been playing this past week on anything really, Xbox or otherwise?
Well, I've been trying xCloud again. I wanted to see it because I tried it on PC to see how it works, and it works pretty good. I tried GTA. I tried some other. I tried Ascent on there.
Did it work?
Not bad. I mean, I still think. I mean, it still has problems with the audio. I think that's the worst part of it. Sometimes the audio is just like not even there. So it's getting better though. I mean, I'm glad it's on PC though, because I don't like playing games on my phone that much. So,
but like,
but
it's still at the beginning of it.
Yeah, I mean, is it gonna be as good as console? Maybe several years from now.
In theory, it is supposed to be like console, for what I understood. But like, yeah, it's gonna take a pretty long time for what I understand so far.
It will be. The Ascent though, I'm playing that, and I'm just like, man, this game is just so damn good. Like, I got to like where you just walk around the city, and I'm just like, damn, dude. Like when I saw that, I was like, holy damn! Like the visuals in that game are just so good. I can't wait till, I mean, if they keep on going and they add like DLC and stuff like that, or they make a sequel, they have to, because this game is, I think, going to be huge one day. But I've been focusing on I come home and I'm just like, it's almost like a job where I'm just like, I got to get my Microsoft reward points, like play all these different games and get achievements so I can get more points. And it's like I'm not even playing games for fun sometimes. I'm just trying to get all the stuff.
Logging into Bing to make sure you do the dailies on Bing.
Like, wait a second, you are playing just to get achievements? Is that what's going on?
One of us.
Points.
He got
unlock the reward points.
Yeah, you got to get those reward points. Just by playing games, though, you can get like I get like £10 worth of Microsoft Store vouchers every month minimum, and that doesn't include that. Cool. That's not even including sort of the stuff where like if you spend £30 in a sale, you get an extra £5 back. You buy a new release, you get a £5 back. That's just from doing the Bing rewards and jumping on Gamepass and playing something and doing this and that. It's a really good system, and I wish Microsoft would roll it out worldwide, because I know there's a lot of places it doesn't exist, and you're missing out. I mean, Bing's finally, they announced Bing is actually making money. It's profitable now, and I bet you half the people that use Bing are doing it for reward points. That's the only reason you use it. So,
I mean, I was playing Microsoft Simulator, Flight Simulator, but like I'm like I want to buy the joysticks though. Using a controller kind of sucks, so I want the real experience. but it's like, there's one that's like $290, and I'm like $90, $200. That's not horrible. So maybe I'll pick it up, but then I'm tempted of like, should I buy like cool like like the steering wheel and stuff like that for Forza, because I never got that either. So
That's the
Holy
rabbit
crap,
hole
man.
that never ends. You buy the steering wheel,
Holy
then you need
crap.
the chair, then you need the thing
And
to
you need the
sit in,
pedals.
and then you need the extra 2
Yeah.
screens to have the full 3-screen front. That's a dangerous game, my friend. It's slowly
Alucard,
sinking into
did it-
that.
I never had that
Alucard,
stuff. But
didn't you just buy a car recently?
Yeah.
Like, wait a bit, man. Just wait a bit. Keep it together.
No.
Just drive your car
Calm
and
down.
just stick some stickers on your
Yeah.
windscreen that look like overlays. It's just like Forza. You're sorted. Good to go, mate.
It's just hard to invest like a lot of money into like a controller setup that only could be used by like a couple games,
Yep.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
That's
But-
always the downside.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I'm back at work, so it's like I don't have much time anymore to play as much as I wanted to, but all I know is this: if you guys want to play Ascent, I never played it in co-op, so I'm looking forward to trying it in co-op. Looks pretty interesting.
We
Yeah.
should try to somehow stream. Go back to the gaming streams like we always end up doing a gaming stream and then say, oh yeah, the gaming streams are back, and then we never go back because we
I don't
never
know.
have time to.
Yeah. The Tuesday night
Trying like
streams
this.
that have become a once every 2 months.
Oh.
We're busy
there's like
people.
There's just too many like games, Like that's the problem. Like Back for Blood, I'm waiting for that. Like holy crap.
You get to try that out.
No, I didn't get to try it out, but
It's pretty
it
dope,
looks
man.
so damn good.
That's
a lot of
That
fun.
could be like my favorite game, I think.
that's 2 betas
Were you
I've been.
Were you a Left 4 Dead?
uh.
Were you a Left 4 Dead fan?
No, I never really got to play Left 4 Dead.
Okay.
But I like Zombie Army, and I like other games that are similar, but yeah, I never really tried it, so.
Yeah.
But I think I would like it though.
You lost a really big experience. For what I remember, Left 4 Dead is still pretty alive. Like you can just go and play with anyone, and anyone will accept playing,
Really?
and then you
Yeah.
are going to have a really good time. It's not predictable at all. It's really awesome.
They brought a new campaign out last year or the year before. It's just had a new campaign update recently. That was fan made, yeah. Like the community made it, and then I think Valve just sort of checked it and approved it, and they've added it as an official campaign to the game now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's weird. As Zombie Army, they had like a free update for Left 4 Dead. It was like a Left 4 Dead skins in Zombie Army 4.
Nice.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's weird.
What about
Jesus Christ? How old is Left 4 Dead? And like, it's still pretty much alive to this day.
10
It's
years
really
old?
amazing.
Easily, I'd say 10-year-old.
Like,
I mean, it's because
holy
of
crap.
evolved, crashed and burned. So people were like, let's
Yeah.
go back to the better game.
But that's the thing, and that's one thing I'll say. Just with my brief experience with Back 4 Blood, honestly, like I started playing like the second it got released. I ended up getting a couple of codes, and I jumped right in. And I'll tell you something. It's like it feels like a lot like Left 4 Dead, but if Left 4 Dead was made today.
Nice.
And it's just the gunplay. I can't talk enough about the gunplay. Gunplay is solid. The guns sound great. The zombies and the second. I think the only thing I'll say is that there's a little too much disparity between the lowest difficulty level and just the next level up. Like the lowest difficulty level, just from the beta perspective, is too easy, and the second you ramp it up, it's like to just the middle, whatever the middle level is. I think they call it veteran. It kicks your ass. And it honestly, it's a very severe jump between the two. I feel like the easiest one should be a little bit more difficult, and the middle one, the veteran, should be just a little less difficult. But that's just me personally. But it's challenging, and it's definitely a lot of fun to play. I was playing it with friends. Oh, I played with my brother. I played with Turpin, who's in there. I was playing with Sensei. I played with a bunch of different people, and I enjoyed it a lot. So
Nice.
it's I definitely recommend if you weren't able to get in on the early access, if you didn't pre-order or whatever, then the open one comes out, I think, on the 10th or 11th for everyone. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. That's the second beta in 2 weeks. I didn't get in, and I'm sad. I didn't get in the Halo flight, the Halo technical test, and I didn't get in the Back 4 Blood beta. And the Back 4 Blood is literally probably my most anticipated game this year. I am a huge Left 4 Dead fan. 1, 2. I mean, I know they didn't do 2, but it's the same game, and Back 4 Blood just looks like it takes it to like modern levels. I'm so excited for it. I'll be getting it. I'll be getting the DLC with all the extra stuff they've announced. So cannot wait. I'm gutted I couldn't get an invite, but I'll play it on the open beta and I'll enjoy it to hell. Have you played anything else this past week then, Logic?
Literally, so right before we got on, and a little bit now, I'm doing a little multitasking. I'm playing the Ascent right now. Sensei told me about it because Sensei and my brother Draven, they were playing it. They were trying to do a co-op thing, and they really enjoyed it. They got through a lot of it. The only thing that Sensei was having, and he was playing a Series X, he was talking about having some connectivity issues and just some issues in the actual matchmaking itself. And it seems like it was only isolated to co-op experience. I guess when you play the game solo, game runs fine. But the second you basically try to like do some co-op experience, like stuff like any type of co-op, you run into some difficulties. Whether it just be hard crashing or things like that, or just soft locking stuff, like that. And he experienced that through his playthrough. He played for a couple hours, he said, but he experienced quite a few like issues where it was like crashing and stuff like that. So it kind of turned him off from the experience. But he said the overall game, he was really enjoying it. And then honestly, like, I was like, all right, I was playing other games, League of Legends. I'm all over the place with my games, right? So, but I was Back 4 Blood. I played, Halo. So I said, let me give this. I had it installed. Let me give it a try. And sure enough, ever since I started it to get my achievements for the week for the rewards, funny enough, started it, and then I haven't put it down now because that's the thing. I got my 3 achievements. I was like, oh, I'll put it down. Podcast. I don't want to put it down right now because it's a little addicting in that isometric aspect and the whole like almost like Diablo, like searching for better gear, better guns. I was only level 3 and I'm fighting guys at a level 9, getting my ass kicked, kind of. So it's kind of cool. It takes some getting used to with the shooting mechanic, with the right stick stuff. It's been a while since I played a game like this, but overall I'm just having a good time. And then
basically, Logic is doing what Bob always end up doing during the podcast. He ends up playing at the same time we are recording.
I'm doing a little bit of both. I'm trying to be respectful, of course, because like I don't really like to play games like while I'm doing the podcast as well too. So it's like
I'm in you don't care for this one, you are
okay.
To be fair though, I'd play.
Put the controller down.
I'd be playing on the podcast if I was in the same room as my Xbox though. But my Xbox is in the main room, and it's just fair that I come and sit out of the way doing the podcast and leave the TV free for a couple of hours on a Saturday night. That's the agreement to me doing a podcast on a Saturday night when I could be doing probably a lot better things, basically. But I'd rather play on my Xbox. If I could have xCloud up in front of me on my laptop, I would. But obviously, as the host in it, I have everything open in front of me, so I don't even get to do that, unfortunately. So, I don't blame you at all. What about you?
Yeah, we are just kidding.
yeah, we're horrible. Don't worry about us.
Exactly.
What about you, Slayer? What have you been playing?
So it's been another kind of dead week for me in terms of gaming. I haven't really been doing much. But I did play a little bit of Minecraft Dungeons. I started the Hidden Deaths DLC, and that one's pretty cool. I like it so far. It's more of the same, but it's pretty good. Yeah. And then I think actually the Echoes of the Void one also came out recently, and I think that's the last one that they're gonna have that game. So that's kind of interesting. I thought that game was gonna go on forever, but just keep adding DLCs, but I guess not. Maybe they're moving on to Minecraft Dungeons 2 or who knows. But yeah, that was pretty fun. Gonna try to finish that out over the weekend and move on to the Echoes of the Void DLC. And other than that, I've been continuing playing the following DLC for Dying Light. I've never played it before. And it's actually been very interesting. I like it. It's a different game from the base game. It's a different experience, and I love the driving. It's very fun. Just mowing down zombies. It's freaking awesome, and it's a lot harder than the base game actually, because there's just like the special zombies are everywhere, and it's just because like the fact that like you're like literally in the countryside, you can get like mobbed. Like it's crazy. Like because like the city also like helps you like be on top of the rooftops and stuff like that, so you're like a little safer. But here you're just like, there's nothing like that. It's just you're in an open field, nothing but open fields, and there's like small towns that have like tiny buildings, so like you're always in danger. And then they have like these volatile nests, which are like probably the hardest zombies in the game. I'm gonna say, and except for like the really big guys, the demolishers they're called. They like ram you and stuff, but the volatiles are like really quick and they're strong. And yeah, they have like 6 or 7 nests of them, and they're just like, you go in there, it's like these dark caves, and there's just like freaking like 15 of these freaking volatiles at once, and it's just like, what the hell, man? Like I died like at least 10 times, like within like an hour or two, where like, the base game I probably died like maybe like 3, 4, 5 times because I like fell or whatever. But yeah, it's been interesting. I think I'm gonna finish that one off over the weekend as well, probably tonight or tomorrow. So excited about that. But that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've not seen you online that much this week, so
Yeah,
I assume you've been busy.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. Hopefully next week will be a little bit. I'll be on a little bit more. So.
Yeah, I definitely want to play the Minecraft DLC as well. That looks.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm hoping it's not the last one. I know it's the last one of Season 2 DLC pack, but I hope they do a third one because they've been so original and they've expanded upon it in such a good way, and it's made that game really good. I mean, it wasn't a bad game when it came out, but it was limited. It was like very linear and sort of trimmed down for a game, but the amount of content they've added, including free content as well, you don't have to buy all the DLC, but it's made it a really interesting game now, and I'm really I've really enjoyed it. What about you, Fabio? What have you been playing this week?
So for me, I wasn't able to play that much, to be honest. A ton of work also from the college. But so far, what I've been playing during this week was after the Halo Tech preview, I got a little bit way more addicted to Halo multiplayer. And then not only I played Master Chief Collection's multiplayer matches, but I also went back to Halo 5 to play the multiplayer. Really well done, really awesome. Of course, Halo 5 has its problems, but there's no way for me to deny that the best aspect of that game is the gameplay itself. Like, it's so well done. Holy shit. And besides that, I've been playing a lot of the Bard's Tale trilogy, remastered trilogy from the original game that was released in 1985. Really awesome for tabletop or RPG fans. And I played a little bit of me and Ash tried to play a little bit of Halo 2 campaign, but for some damn reason the campaigns are having a really serious issue of input lag. For some reason, when I'm the host of the section of the lobby, Ash was having input lag, like he was not being able to control his character properly. And when he became the host of the lobby, I was having the same issues as him. So like, what's going on?
I don't know if it was my internet, but like I say, it was like a 1 second delay. So I'd click left, and then it would go left, and we were playing the mission with the where you've got the Arbiter and the sword combat, and I couldn't do anything. I'd go to hit someone, and they'd already moved by the time I actually moved. So we gave up on that. We played some multiplayer, and we played some absolute crackers of random game modes, didn't we? Which I thought was ace.
Oh yeah, we had some really bizarre games. Like we played a game modes where like you only had the plasma pistol, and most of your kills are going to be when you punch someone. Simple as that. As well as another game where we all had gravity hammers and we all had to pick up a ball and try to survive to get to the point.
Oh,
like,
Griffball?
Yeah, Griffball.
Yeah.
Never played that mode before. It was ace.
Love it.
Yeah. It's fun.
Well, man.
It was
a lot of fun.
really crazy.
One thing I would like to say though,
fun.
it was both. It was swords and hammers.
Oh,
yeah.
Swords and shotguns though.
Ah, right. But what I will say is, we played a game and there was a guy on our team that kept killing us, like betraying us. So we quit and then we got banned for like 15 minutes. I was like, that's not fair. If I'm getting team killed, I should be able to leave.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Stop that. It wasn't 15 minutes. It was only 4 minutes.
Well, it had been 5 when we did it, but still, I shouldn't have got any time limit. I shouldn't have got anything. people that are team killing should be getting booted, and they should get
True.
fucking permabanned, Bellends.
But like, really, I'm so annoyed and really curious. Like, when are the campaigns going to be back to normal? Like, I'm worried because I want to play Halo 2 Legendary campaign with Ash before Halo Infinite comes out. God damn it.
You got to imagine there's a team, right, that's still focused heavily on MCC, making sure that things are running smoothly on
Yep.
older Xbox generation, current Xbox generation, and even PC, right? But it's like, then how much now do you feel the crunch is on probably for Infinite? Where it's like, how many hands do they really have supporting MCC currently? Like, I don't want to sell them short. They're a big enough studio, right? And it's not like they're not being supported financially to make sure that they're running as best as they can. But, and it's not to accept, like this poor performance, like with MCC. But if they're trying to pull people in to maybe say like, hey, we got to get Infinite right, it's like, maybe, you know what I mean? It's like,
Oh,
the
yeah,
urgency
yeah.
might not be like, let's make sure. I mean,
Yeah.
even though they should focus on MCC, it's not fair to people that are still trying to play it and experience it and have fun with it. But, and I'm not trying to shoot them bail either too. It's like, no, they should fix their shit. But with Infinite coming out, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe you'll be okay if you know that, hey, Infinite's launching and it's going to launch good and it's not going to have any problems, any issues. You're not going to experience those type of issues that you're experiencing now with MCC inside of Infinite and stuff like that,
Oh yeah,
That's the one.
yeah, but I gotta be honest. I do understand what you are saying, but like, I gotta be honest. I do think that we are going to have some really big server issues because everyone is gonna try to play Infinite.
Sure. Well,
So
as far as
we are gonna have
yeah,
servers crashing
agree.
by the
Yes.
by the amount of people that we are gonna have
Yes.
when it get released.
Yes. I'm just saying, hopefully it doesn't like past that launch, past that, especially because it's free to play, right? Multiplayer and stuff. But past that,
Yeah.
it's like, let's hope that it's like, okay, the servers are on fire, but now it's like, okay, they understand that. And listen, there's no way. I think we say this every time a big game, a AAA game comes out, and every time we're stuck waiting queue times or whatever. It doesn't matter. It could be a World of Warcraft freaking update. It doesn't matter what game it is. It's like it sometimes I feel like these companies just don't realize how much people want to go and play it night of launch, and it's like, and they never allocate enough servers like for that, or they just don't stress test enough. And hopefully they could get that right with these flights that they've been doing, or that they're going to continue to do leading up into the launch of Halo.
Yeah, totally agree.
Well said.
Have you
Well
played
said.
anything else then, Fabio?
No, for me that's it.
What about you then, Jenna? What you've been playing?
I've been playing quite a bit this week. I just want to message off Sensei. Sorry, he's having a bit of issues. He can't get in. I was with him in one of the other chats, which is why I dropped out. And I've tried getting him in on Twitter. It's just not working for him. So he said he'll make it up. He'll be on another time. But so Logic, he's ditched you. Is the long show of it.
He might have did it perfect. He might have just just have me out here. He had his You know what I mean? It could be calculated. You never know. But no, honestly, no. I think he definitely means it. He was excited to do this. We told you on Wednesday when we did, your show, that he wanted to do this. So it's unfortunate, but definitely once we get that organized and stuff, we'll definitely be back
No
on together.
worries. It happens.
Yeah, it happens, man. It's fine. So yeah, this week I finished Last Stop, which I really enjoyed. I know I've been speaking to Ash quite a bit about some of the spoilers I don't want to mention on here, and some of just the crazy story decisions that happen later on in the game for no apparent reason. So just out of nowhere. I've been playing Omno, which I'm really enjoying as well. That's a fun little one-man game. I'm not sure if you guys have seen much of that.
Yep.
It's on Gamepass as well. It's worth checking out.
Mhm.
Kind of an old school game where it's just a puzzler platformer with environmental aspects. There's like no enemies or anything that I've encountered so far. It's just you solving puzzles and interacting with the environment, like the really old Zelda games before you picked up your sword. We used to run through the fields and look for stuff and try and get your traps done. I'm on the Back for Blood beta. I've been playing that, and that has Logic. You said you were on it. You on PC or Xbox?
I have it on both. I got fortunate. I did any which way I could get inside of this beta, I was getting inside of this beta. So PC and Xbox. I have not tried it on Xbox, but I probably will give it a go just to kind of see how it runs on the Series S. But on PC, it runs great.
So PC, you have a field of view slider, so you can go from
Yes.
90 upwards. It doesn't have one on Xbox, and it's the narrowest most uncomfortable view I've ever had in a first-person shooter. It's like if this is your gun,
Yeah.
they've put the camera here, right on the end of the barrel, and then they put blinkers on you.
So it's like
So
it's
just-
Doom. Remember classic Doom?
Yeah, so you could just see the tip
Yeah.
of the gun. Worse. It
Oh, okay.
feels worse than that because it's like you're almost looking over it, and then everything's squashed in from the sides. It's
That's unfortunate because
It's so
especially
fun
when,
to play.
especially you need to but you still need to see what's going around you. You know what I mean? Like you could react to the sounds of the zombies
Yeah.
creeping up from behind you, but it's better if you have that peripheral. If you
So,
have
like,
that, that wider angle.
I'm getting attacked
So
by stuff stood next to me, and I haven't seen it. It's really annoying. Also, it hasn't got.
So-
I remember the Left 4 Dead. There was a button you could press where you'd spin 180. I don't think it has that.
Yeah, that might be something that they could add in because they have a good feedback system. So I don't know. Did they ask you like survey after you played? Because they were giving out surveys on PC
Yeah, I haven't
after
had
like a
one yet.
run. Yeah, so if you get one of those, definitely add. And next time I get one, or I even like that could be like a Twitter thing, like, hey, remember when you did this back on Left 4 Dead? You should probably think
Yeah.
about adding it again, at least for a console perspective, because it definitely helped a lot to be able to like flip around real quick.
Yeah,
I remember that.
The horde is all over you. You need to be able to spin
Mhm.
and react. Also, it's got like a really annoying. I need to go in the settings and change it next time on auto aim. So as soon as you
I
aim
heard
on
the
sight, it
auto aim.
stops
It's like
something.
aimbot. I heard it's
So
like
if I'm-
aimbot.
If I'm looking at you and I want to shoot you because I think you're the threat, if I
Yeah.
hit the trigger to look down sight, it'll aim to whatever's closest to me. So it might
Yeah.
move 30, 40 degrees to the right and aim at some random zombie. It's really off-putting.
Yep.
Now, is
Other
it
than that, it's like Left 4 Dead.
is it NDA then? Can you capture footage? Can you show footage from it, or is it not allowed to do that?
It's not NDA. You could
No.
stream it. You could, you're free to basically have. As a matter of fact, I have a bunch of
nice.
footage that I captured for it that I'm probably going to show off while we talk
I'm
about
I'm
it
going to say
tomorrow.
thank you now because I'm currently downloading it. So
Yeah.
the Back
No,
for
don't
Blood
worry
beta,
about it.
damn
I
right.
had an extra code. I threw it over because like they give you three when you got invited. They give you 3 codes. I made sure my unit people had their codes if they wanted to try it out, but I had one sitting around. So
Ah, so Jinna's
man.
not shared it with
Just-
us then. That's you're just saying Jinna don't want to
No,
share with us, guys.
Yeah,
My,
we are just like that. We still content and that's it.
Look at the time. My brother-in-law who got in
is
the
it weird? Did I just make it weird? Is it
Got
weird? No.
Yeah. So just to clarify, my brother-in-law who got into the Halo one also got into this one, and he sent me one of his codes.
That's nice of him.
Nice.
I know, yeah. He didn't send me the Halo code, and I don't think he even played much of it. He was out all weekend, so I'm really annoyed by that. But other than that, we're okay. And then I'm still going back to some games. Like I've played The Ascent. I really enjoy now, but there's other games I wanted to get just through. I keep chucking on Doom Eternal now and then to get through that. I still haven't finished that game, and that's probably one of the most solid FPS games of all time. And for some reason, I still keep thinking to myself, I'm going to finish Maid of Scare and Falconeer. Just keep putting them on, playing like 20, 30
Stop lying.
minutes. Yeah, I play a
Stop
little bit
lying
of
to
Falconeer,
yourself.
and I just go,
Yeah.
no, this isn't for me. And then I'll play Maid of
Falconeer.
Scare, and I'm like, I'm scared. I'm going to turn it off. Why am I playing this game? I don't like horrors. What am I doing to myself? So,
My friend who had a PS5 asked about the Falconeer. I was just like, don't touch it.
don't do it.
I think Falconeer just got a DLC that came out.
That don't mean it's
Recently.
better. That just means
Yeah.
there's
No, I know,
more
I'm just saying, I'm
trash.
just saying.
The developer guy is really
not
funny. I
necessarily.
follow him on Twitter. He seems like a nice guy, so I don't want to slate it too much. But his game is shit. He's a nice guy. His game is
awesome.
awful.
It isn't
Well,
a
I
good
just
game.
wanna
It's a
say-
shame. It looks fantastic. It just plays for me.
I
It just
wanna
plays
point
like
out that
arse.
I just want to point out to any game developers that are listening to this that after this episode, Gene is not part of the Party podcast anymore. Logic is
fired.
the new member, so welcome, Logic. Thank you so much. And there we go.
This is awkward. Hold on a second.
No, it's that's all I've played this week. But yeah, like I said, Falconeer's garbage, guys. Don't buy.
Well, I'll jump in. For the indie devs out there, I've had a massive indie game sesh this week. I played through the Hall of Omno. I finished that today. Highly recommend it for a game that's made by one guy. It's awesome. Check it out. Buy it if you can to support the dev, but if you can't, play it on Gamepass. It's also out on other systems as well. It's a really fun game. It's very chilled, laid back. My only downside to the thing was it's a platforming specific sort of puzzle game, and a lot of the time when you're trying to grab platforms, it just grabs and then drops and makes me rage. So that's something I think could be patched out in future. It's just a little niggle. It could just need a little bit of tweaking, but other than that, it plays great. You get more abilities as you progress through the levels. You eventually get a surfing ability, and it's like the most sublime surfing sort of snowboarding mechanic in a game I've played in years. Like, snowboarding games should talk to that dev and get it to be as smooth as that is. It's great. So I highly recommend that. I've also been playing Madness Beverage, I believe it's called, which is basically a old school Doom game. Basically, it plays like that, run and gun through sort of many rooms and sort of like a labyrinth of rooms, shooting ghouls, ghosts, monsters with rocket launchers on their arms and stuff. It's just madness, but it's really fun. It came out Thursday, I believe, or Friday. It's only just come out. I'll have a full video about it next week, but I've played the first couple of levels. It's really fun, and it does have multiple difficulty levels. If you don't like being the absolute bullet hell of Doom, like difficulty, you could turn it down to sort of baby mode, like I played it on to begin with, just to sort of get my mind around it. But it's really fun. I've also been playing Black Book, which is an RPG game that's coming out this week coming. I think it comes out on the 10th of August, so Tuesday. That is basically you play as a girl who's training to be a witch, basically. It's quite dark, but it's got a sense of humour to it, and it's got like a card-based turn-based battle system in it. The epilogue's free on Xbox Store right now, so you can play the first chapter basically for free. It's fun, it's funny, and it looks nice. It's got a real nice look to it. I'm going to put some video up in a second of it. But the card combat is really, like I say, really smooth, really well done. You get more cards the more you play. And it's got like a map system, and when you're sort of exploring, it sort of reminds me of like the old school sort of Ian Livingstone sort of choose your own adventure books, where it's like you could go somewhere and it'll ask you different questions, and that'll sort of either progress the story in a certain way, and then if it goes into combat, then it goes into like the proper combat mechanics and stuff, which is really good. So I highly recommend people check that out. Like I said, there's a free trial to at least see if you're interested, but the full game comes out on the 10th. And then I have played the biggest indie game of the year, Fast and Furious Crossroads, was it?
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Why not? It was on the sale in the sale. My son likes car games, and I thought, you know what, I'll buy it. And do you know what's funny? It starts off and it's got like Vin Diesel's character and Michelle Rodriguez's character as if they were made from wax and had slightly melted on it. But the voices on it, and I'm like, hey, the person they've got for Michelle Rodriguez's character is pretty good, actually. And then Vin Diesel's like, I am Groot. And it doesn't even sound like him. But it turns out it is actually him. So he must have been in like on a yacht or something, and he's just sort of been like, yeah, family, and all that shit. And he's just phoned it in. But it plays like an early PS2 driving game with 360 graphics, and it's an official plot. It's got some of the voice. It's got a decent voice cast, but like the driving is awful. The level layout is awful. It's dreadful. But I'm going to play through it.
It looks like Burnout. There's like a little section where it looks like Burnout, where you're knocking cars off.
Oh, you do that all the time. Yeah, that's just part of the driving. Like you're driving down the street and it's like, we've got to take out this tank, and you're like, brrr, into the side of it. But you'll be driving and then you'll just hit something like tiny and it'll stop you. But you can ride through like all sorts of stuff. You can hit like a minivan in a small car and it goes flying in the air. But if you hit a corner of a curb, you stop dead and it'll mess your entire race up. But it's great because you're driving and it's got like a hacking ability. And on one level, the one level I was on last, you're driving along and the police are chasing you, and you've got to sort of go behind them or in front of them with your camera facing them, then aim at them perfectly, press this hack button, wait for this hack to go round in a circle to get into like a quick time position to press it to cancel them out while trying to drive at the same time. It's just madness. It's amazing. It's so bad.
It's amazing. Like I never thought I would hear someone speaking about that game and saying after that it's amazing. Like
It's so bad
Wasn't
it's
it?
good though.
Wasn't that
no,
game like displayed
don't
on
say
like
that.
E3 or something like that, or the Game
Yeah.
Awards?
Yeah, they showed it and
was a
everyone
Game
went,
Awards. It was a Game Awards.
have they got like
Oh, jeez.
10-year-old footage wrong here? It doesn't look good.
And like the
It's like it's so badly graphic, but they've sort of smoothed over it like a remaster of like a PS2 game, but they've not done anything to it but sort of up-resed it. That's how it looks and plays.
and like the best part of when this game was announced during the Game Awards is that Vin Diesel himself came on stage and he was saying like, these are our people because we are gamers as well.
You're not a gamer, Vin Diesel. After playing that, you aren't a gamer. Vin Diesel ain't touched that. I mean, Wheelman was better than this, and that wasn't a good game. But this is it's laughably bad. I'm gonna do a video about bad games, and this is gonna be one of them. But
Wait, like now tell me, was the sale worth it?
yeah, it was great. I laughed for like 2 hours straight, and then effed and blinded at one section where you had to win this race, and it fucking impossible. But it's funny. I'm gonna keep playing it. There's an online mode where like half the game is like online ops, where you're supposed to do with other people in like crews. So I haven't tried that yet. So there might be one other person somewhere in the world that'll play with me. But that was it. I haven't played a lot, like I say.
The question is, was there any destructible fruit in the game?
No, there wasn't much destructible anything. Oh, and
That's
also,
what the game's saying.
there's loads of missions where it's like don't take damage, and then you're driving along like a highway, and then every like 5 seconds there's like, oh, there's been an accident there, and there's cars strewn across the road, and there's like diggers digging up the road every sort of like 20 meters that you have to sort of like zigzag around. I'm like, what? Who designed this? They're like, let's make it slightly harder, and they just chuck random shit in the environment. And
So bad.
Game design.
honestly, I should have put the footage up here, but I'll save that for another week. But then that was it. It's mainly been indie games. I've been quite enjoying myself. And yeah, I there's so many indie games on Xbox at the moment. We're sort of
and shitty games that you've been playing.
yeah, as well. Yeah,
well done.
got to enjoy yourself. But we will jump into the topics. So the first thing is let me just get this up in front of me. We could possibly be getting a new South Park game. Fingers crossed, because the developers or the creators, should I say, of South Park have basically signed a massive, nearly, I think it's £900 million deal with Paramount Plus. So they're going up to season 30 of the show. They're going to do 14 movies, and I believe Jason Schreier's reported that they're going to be investing in a video game as well, set in South Park. Now, we don't know whether this is going to be an RPG. It doesn't look like it's going to be a 2D one. It does state 3D. But the last two games were published by Ubisoft. The first one was The Stick of Truth, which was made by a Microsoft studio now, and I can't remember the name of that studio. It's totally slipped my mind. And then the second one, The Fractured Butthole. Obsidian made the first one, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And the second one is just as good, if not better. I hope, but they were basic. It's basically a cut and paste of the first game with added tweaks and extras. They couldn't go wrong following the same formula. But there's not much to say on it. I'm excited because the last two South Park games have been good. Hopefully they continue the trend and it doesn't go the way of older South Park games like the N64 ones, the PS1 games, some of the mobile games. I mean, would you guys be looking forward to a South Park game? And do you want it to be RPG again, or do you want it to be something different?
Oh, I'm definitely looking forward to this because I played both of the games, the most recent game that came out, and they're amazing. And I love RPGs, so I definitely hope that it's an RPG. Like, that game it has the humor of the show. It has pretty good gameplay. Like, both of the games were really good, even though the combat system was very different in both of them. They were both turn-based, but like the second one was kind of like where you could move around a grid a little bit, so it was a little bit more strategy involved. I'm not sure which one I like more. I think the second game was, definitely interesting. I think, I like both, honestly. So like, just a straight up turn based where you're just standing there and you're just collecting spells. The second one was a little bit, I guess, had a little more action. So that one probably will keep a lot of people's interest a little bit more. But yeah, I can't wait. And I really hope that they do another RPG and they just go even more all out with it. Because those games were awesome. And I actually, that now that this news came out, I'm actually thinking about replaying them, both of them, like the first one and then playing the second one. So.
Yeah, I bought the second one recently on Xbox again because I played it on PS4 when it came out, and I played the first one on PC. But when I bought the second one on Xbox, it came with a code for the first game, so I've got them both on Xbox now, and I really mean to go back and play them. It's just fitting it in through new games at the moment. But they're both amazing games, so much better than they deserve to be. And like when you're fighting, when you're fighting the gnome on the bed? That's amazing.
Oh no! Yeah, let's not go there. Let's talk about that.
That's it. We
That is
just
like
became Game
that
Beyond
is
the Box.
that is the heart of the show's humor right there. That's just like you can't go wrong. Like if you love that show and you love the humor of that show, it's like that scene just that you'll be like, oh yeah, this is South Park. You like I feel like you don't even have to like if you just see that, if you're a fan of the show and you see that scene, you're like, oh, this is South Park. Like you'll know right away,
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. And unfortunately, it was I believe it was what do you call it? Censored in a few regions, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
We,
No, I
we
played it. It was
think
uncensored. It was
I
great.
think we got it uncensored over here. So
Yeah, same here.
I would-
It was great.
I would like to see what they would do with it, like if they would, like the current events and everything. Making
Oh, they're
fun of,
probably
like,
gonna. They're definitely gonna reference a lot of stuff that's been going on in the past couple years.
you're gonna have
That's
to
for
like
sure.
fight Karens or something like that.
it's gonna be South Park Rally 2, and it's gonna have the Catherine Jenner as a character, and she just murders everyone as she drives. That's the best thing ever.
It'd be like Trump. He's gonna be the boss or something
Oh,
like that.
man.
And
Yeah,
boss.
probably.
To be fair, I still like the old 3D games. I love the N64. It's terrible. It's such a terrible game, but I love it. South Park Rally is an amazing racing game.
So that was a South Park game that I remember playing for N64, right? It
With
was
the
like one of the original South Park,
10,000
like,
turkeys attacking you for like
Yeah.
5 levels straight for the first bit of the game. Yeah,
The
you
multiplayer
pee on the
split screen was
snowball.
Great on that.
Yes,
You get the cow
that's what I
launcher.
remember playing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great multiplayer.
Yeah, I still think Rally's better, just because you could like throw a prostitute at people, and they would like cough AIDS on them and stuff like that. It was horrible, and then you had Saddamo vision. Do you know, like on Mario, it puts
God.
oil on the screen to cover it. Instead of this, it's just a big Saddam Hussein face pops up over the screen as you're driving. Couldn't get away with it nowadays, but oh my god, I laughed as a kid.
Those might have been the funniest bits from the movie. If you remember the original
Yeah.
South Park movie.
Oh my god, I love
the
it.
Satan bits. Oh my! I lost my fucking mind. I watched it as a kid, but even going back as an adult, when you could actually understand a lot of the things that they were referencing, unreal.
I'm
It
a
is so
huge
sick what
South
they
Park
actually got
fan.
away with.
It's so amazing. And I must admit, the newest sort of specials have really recaptured that. I felt the last couple of seasons haven't been as good as they used to be, but the last couple of specials, I'd be howling. Some of them are classic.
There was something online that they basically said that I guess it was reported that the show creators didn't want to go past like I forget what the statement was, but they didn't want to make it for the rest of their lives. But $900 million would definitely change your perspective.
Yeah.
And especially if you could still make good episodes, like if your heart's still into it, if it really isn't just about the money. I mean, that's a lot of money. It's almost $1 billion basically to produce the show and then a potential video game again and stuff. So honestly, if they're still into it and they're still, if the humor's still there, which I still think all these years later, the humor's still there. They still know how to, drive that show. So, and they haven't had to do much with it. So it's really cool.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I would
shocked.
personally, I'd want to see it to be RPG as well. I wouldn't want them to change that up. If anything, I would want like a co-op RPG element to it.
Yeah,
Like,
it seems like a 4-player game, doesn't it? It would be so good as a 4-player game.
Like you and like 3 other buddies like going in and stuff. Like
they should do it on that game where they're all the samurais and they've got the ninja stars and stuff, and they're all in the big buff That's what they should do. A game based. The fact they haven't done that, they've done the superheroes, they've done the Lord of the Rings one. Give us like the ninja episode. I can't remember what it was called now, but that is where they throw it in Butters' eye and he's like meow, like be a cat or a dog in the eye. It's like woof, woof, and they're like peeing on him and stuff.
Oh my god.
The best thing about that episode is the woof sounds was George Clooney guest starring.
Yeah, he was also.
Yeah.
He was also in the movie George Clooney as well, wasn't he? He was the
Yeah.
doctor at the beginning.
What about like a wrestling game with South Park?
I would play it.
Different.
That would,
No,
yeah.
Here's the thing. Now that I think I managed to fix my potato internet, like Gina, please pass the potato to me, please. Like, now that I fixed it, I can say it. I think that South Park needs to, in terms of a game of it needs to stick with the formula that Obsidian went for, because it's the best way, in my opinion. And in my opinion, the first game is the best one because every single element of it, the gameplay, the humor, everything was just perfect in the right tone, everything. Now, the second one, thanks to all of the new mechanics that you decided to add, I ended up not liking very much, to be honest. But yeah, it is a good game.
So what you're saying is you want them to make Chef Love Shack 2?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
Right,
The
well,
first one was Obsidian, and the second one was Ubisoft, right?
they were both published by Ubisoft, but the first one was
okay.
actually developed by Obsidian.
Yeah.
I don't know who developed the second one. It will have been one of Ubisoft's internals, probably. But hey, that's life. We'll move on to the next topic, which is there has been some more game delays.
Really?
Shockingly so. Amazon's New World MMO has had a short couple of week delay to September 28th, 2021. They've said that this is based on feedback from the beta to make it more polished and better, basically. I don't know how much you can do in a couple of weeks, but that's what they've said anyway. At least if they could get server stability and stuff like that fixed, that's a win in my eyes. The worst cancellation, like delay, should I say, not cancellation, is that the Evil Dead game, which was slated for the end of this year, has now been delayed into 2022.
Yep.
But there is a shining light in all of this. They have said, though it is being delayed to 2022, it is going to have a single player mode when it launches. So happy days to that. Could it also be being delayed because there's a new Evil Dead movie coming out to HBO Max soon? Who knows? Maybe capitalise off that. I know it's not Bruce Campbell in it, but it's still the Evil Dead name. And they could maybe chuck an extra character in. But I'm gutted because that looked amazing. I love Evil Dead. But hey, it could be worse. At least we're getting something out of it from being delayed. And honestly, getting a single player campaign of some kind, even if it's just against bots. Do you know what I mean? And it adds a bit more playability to it. It means those people that don't want to play online may still buy it. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then Gina sent me some earlier. The Intellivision Amico has been delayed till some point later this year. This is an upcoming sort of modern retro console by Intellivision. Sporting such upcoming games as a new Earthworm Jim exclusive Earthworm Jim game, and also a game made by the Echo the Dolphin team, but it's not going to be Echo the Dolphin. It just looks like Echo the Dolphin. It's a whale this time, but it plays the same, but it's multiplayer. It's aimed at kids, this console. It's very much aimed at couch co-op and reimagining retro classics. But it's sad that it's getting delayed, but honestly, everyone's struggling. If you want to launch a new product, it was supposed to launch in September or October. They've said it's going to be before the end of the year, but now it could come out just before Christmas, so that could actually benefit them. But there's not much news on it, and I don't want to bore people about retro because I've already had people say I talk about too much retro on the show. So we're going to move along. I'm sad, but hey.
I will say,
Well,
as soon as you mentioned Earthworm Jim and Echo, I got a little more interested in the console.
Exactly.
For sure. I remember Earthworm on my Sega Genesis, and I definitely remember Echo the Dolphin too. So,
And it's the original developers of Earthworm Jim have reformed to make this game as well.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing been shown of it other than him walking across the screen, so it could be a long way away, but that piqued my interest up, Earthworm Jim, and it's got like Earth Defense and stuff like that, and like Missile Command, that's it, Missile Command, and the old skiing game, I think it was just called Skiing. Yeah. And like stuff like that, Night Stalker or something like that, Night Trap or something, where you're in a dungeon and you're getting chased by monsters. They're basically modernising all the old Intellivision games, giving them a new lease of life. Looks pretty cool. Like I say, it's a bit expensive, but it's got its own sort of custom controllers and you can also use sort of phones as well to add to more players.
The Bluetooth connectivity. Where okay, that's pretty
cool.
So
you get 2 pads with it built into the console, and then you can have up to, I think, 8 players on some games, and you can all connect your phones, your tablets, buy more controllers. I think it would work really well if they brought board games out on it or something like that. They've shown a few sort of dice games, but like it would work really well with board games. But it has unfortunately been pushed back to the end of the year, which is sad because they've just done a video like a week ago of them showing all the games being printed and shipped out to the like head office. And they've got like a nice original sort of Intellivision blue, and all the covers for the physical games are hand drawn like the old sort of like Atari and Intellivision games of old, where the picture looked amazing and the gameplay doesn't. That's what they remind me of. So,
we already have a retro gaming podcast,
and I'll be talking about it on that soon.
Yesterday, and you are still talking about that, like, please.
Right, Fabio's fired. Moving on.
It's my fault. I brought up Earthworm Jim.
You can't fire the.
I can. Oh, I can. Oh, I can, and I will.
I dare you. You want your logo or not? Now tell me.
Time's are ticking. We had a conversation a week ago, and we still haven't got this logo. No, let's not get into this on the podcast. Right, we'll jump into some streaming service and sort of game service announcements. So PlayStation Now has announced its August editions. We've got Undertale, Ghost Runner, and Nier Automata being added in August, with Nier Automata being available until the 1st of November 2021. All 3 of them aren't bad games, like I say. Undertale is very niche, but it is a fun little indie game. Nier is supposed to be amazing, and Ghost Runner looks fantastic. I haven't been able to play it yet, but it's one of those games that look absolutely fantastic in my eyes. It just looks smooth and like super cool.
It recently got a next gen update, for what I remember.
Nice.
So
So they've been added to PSNow, and then Gamepass has also announced its second wave of August editions. Or this might be the first wave of August editions, actually. So we've got Skate 1 and Skate 3 coming to console and cloud via EA Play, so you have to be a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber for that. Art of the Rally is coming to cloud, console, and PC, and that looks fantastic. Dodgeball Academia coming to cloud, console, PC. Katamari Damacy Reroll coming to cloud, console, and PC, which is an awesome game, and I bought at launch.
I'm very excited about that one.
Yeah,
very excited. I love Katamari.
Yeah, I had the one on. It was Beautiful Katamari on the 360, and then we never got another. So I'm so happy there's been one come back, and I'm so happy it's on Game Pass, because it may mean people play this game and find out about it, because there's tons of these. This isn't the first one or the second one. It's about the 10th, I think. They were on PSP, PlayStation,
mobile,
Switch.
Mobile, yeah.
And they're awesome games. You basically start as a little prince rolling up like peas and coins, and then you eventually can roll up the world basically in the universe at the end of it. So really awesome game. We've got Lumines, cloud, console, and PC. We've got indie sort of mega hit from last year, Hades, coming to cloud, console, and PC.
Nice.
And then we've got Clash of the Dead Gods, Dead Cells Update, coming to cloud, console, and PC. I assume it's called Clash of the Dead Gods, but the updates included with it. We've then got Starmancer for PC, and then we've got the big hitter this month. We've got Microsoft Solitaire Collection coming to PC Game Pass.
This is so bizarre. Like, why are they doing this? Like, we need games to add to Game Pass on PC. What do you suggest? You know what?
Whoa! Grannies love Solitaire, and if you can get a granny to buy Game Pass, you're in there. She'll start with Solitaire. She'll be playing Hades by end of week. That's it. It's like a gateway drug to better games.
By the end of the year, she will be playing Halo. And
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Microsoft are smart. See, it's Solitaire, and what they'll do is, the backs of the cards will be Halo pictures. And she'll be like, "What's this man in a mask?" And then she'll Google it, or she'll click. It might not Google. Maybe the little clippy will come back, and he'll come over and he'll be like, "This is Halo, Granny," and she'll click on that, and it'll download Halo Infinite, and she'll be like sniping, no scoping day one, and that's it.
She'll get a link to the 7-hour history of Halo.
That's it. Yeah.
Pasted all the cutscenes together, and she gets to learn about the lore of Halo before playing Infinite.
That's it. Yeah.
Exactly. And then she will have more interest into EA Play, and then she will play that space, the first game. It's gonna be magical.
There is, and it'll all have started by Solitaire on Game Pass PC.
Well done, Microsoft.
To be fair, they've got these games sat there. The people that want to buy them have already bought them. Why not put them on Game Pass? It's an extra game. It fills in a niche. More games is good. It's like Netflix. There's stuff on Netflix I ain't ever gonna watch, and I'm like, who the hell is this for? Someone must watch it.
Somebody.
Yeah.
And unlike Netflix, they're not having to pay for it. They've already got it sat there doing nothing.
Right.
Like, it's already out.
It's
Why not
theirs.
get them in? So
I'll have to look into who it is after the show, because I forgot the name of it now. But there was a game due out about 2 weeks ago, and it was coming to Game Pass as like a small indie game. And Microsoft contacted them and told them to delay their game by 2 weeks until August the 12th. And then they've now, obviously, it's a busy time as well, so I don't know why they got them to delay their game, but they put out a tweet saying the game's not launching because Microsoft have asked us to hold it back till now. And then when they're finally bringing it out, they stick Solitaire on the tweet instead of them. I mean, you're going to be pissed if you're that guy, and they make you wait 2 weeks, and then they put Solitaire on the email instead of you.
They might have given him a big pile of money. Yeah, you don't know. They might have just gone like, "Here's a bit more money."
The tone of the tweet says otherwise.
Right. Well.
Well, after all, Psychonauts just has gone gold, right? So we don't want any sort of petition to that game.
There's going to be a couple of games that indie game will come out the same probably next week, like not this week, coming the week after, with Psychonauts the week after that. They just want to fill it out a little bit, I think, because I think the end of August, bar Psychonauts, is going to be light, very, very light. Psychonauts is that big hitter. Their eggs are in that basket. They're going to just sort of sprinkle it out over the other stuff, but some fantastic games on that list so far. I mean, nothing that's going to blow your socks off, but Hades and Art of Rally are fantastic. Both the Skate games are good, but they're very, very old now. I mean, give us a new Skate. Don't give us a video saying you're making a new Skate and then a video of you showing other people the gameplay of Skate, but saying you can't see this. These can, but you can't. And then just give us a new Skate. Or give us Skate 2. Why is the Skate 1 and 3? Where's 2? It's like they just went, no, we don't like that.
Licensing could be
I assume it's music,
crazy,
but it's very odd.
Like Skate, and especially because Skate 3 is like the weakest of the bunch.
It probably had the most microtransactions.
Jesus.
Exactly.
They have announced as well, so they're the additions. There have been some removals being announced.
Professionalism.
I've got that many tabs open in front of me. So Ape Out is leaving Xbox Game Pass PC. However, that does have an unobtainable achievement, so don't play it and waste your time on it. Darksiders Genesis is leaving. Now, this is like the more like top-downy Darksiders, if I remember, like the twin stick version. It's not it's not like the third-person one. Don't Starve Giant Edition is leaving the PC Game Pass. Final Fantasy VII, the overrated Final Fantasy, that's leaving.
Okay, wait. No,
Wow.
wait.
You-
Damn.
All right, listen, wait a second. No, wait. I'm not.
It's true. It's true.
I'm gonna be.
Oh,
I'm gonna be
damn.
nice. It's not even my favorite Final Fantasy. It's not overrated. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not overrated.
It's no 9.
favorite-
It's no 9.
It's not overrated. Listen, name me the other Final Fantasies that had a movie named after them, literally a full-on remake
Exactly.
of the fucking game.
Overrated.
and
Got a
work.
remake
No,
when it didn't need it.
Stop. All right, never mind. I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna shut up now.
Ash,
Oh, no.
Ash, you just made us lose the guest. Well done.
No.
Good job.
Listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion. It could be a shit opinion, but you're still entitled to it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Exactly. We all know Final Fantasy IX's the best, and we'll move on.
Shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up.
What am I listening to?
Sensei can't get in, but he's in the chat saying Final Fantasy VII is not overrated. You set him off.
Yeah, you didn't get in. You have no say, good sir.
Stop tricking everyone.
User has left the channel.
Oh.
There goes our subs.
Do you know what? It's not a bad game. I don't think it's aged well, and people see it with very rose-tinted
They
glasses.
made a fucking remake on it. What do you mean it hasn't aged well?
The original, yeah, that's a different. They didn't remake the entire game. They remade the first 20% of the game.
But drawn it out to like a 35, 40-hour game, and that they're still making at least one, if not two other parts to it. Are you kidding me?
I feel like I should be on Twitter right now, tagging people in and stuff, just proper winding everyone up.
Ash, my internet is going potato to my madness.
That's fine. I'll
Please.
just kick you. It's fine.
Let's just continue.
But that's leaving.
Let's just
Unfortunately, that's leaving Game Pass and Game Pass for PC. So it's leaving the
Isn't
Xbox
GTA
version.
5 going as well too?
Yeah,
Astro?
GTA 5's come and gone again after 3 months. Fuck
don't get
GTA
it.
5, especially after the Take-Two director was like, Game Pass isn't good for games that are of our quality and size. Fuck off.
And
Why
now
has it been
Ash
in
is-
so many times? Piss off.
And now Ash is gonna say that GTA 5 was overrated.
I don't-
Oh,
I don't
oh,
think
it was
GTA
the
5.
best one.
GTA
And
5
let
has
me
killed
down.
Grand Theft Auto for years. You ain't getting a GTA 6 this year. You're not probably going to get it next year, especially with them bringing out GTA 5 remastered Christmas this year. GTA 6
Yeah,
ain't coming out next year.
no.
You're going to be a long time.
It's not a remaster. It's the remaster of a
Remaster. Yeah. This is the
That's the
next gen patch. So
I want a Red Dead 2 next gen patch. That's what I want.
Yes.
That'd be nice.
Everyone wants that, please.
do you remember when you got a GTA every generation for 3 generations or 4 generations, and then you've just had the same game for 3 generations now?
Yeah.
And people,
Yeah.
who's playing this game? There's
it's
so
unheard
many
of.
people
I don't
playing
know.
it.
It's RP and it's
Yeah.
online.
I
They've
don't-
literally
I don't-
because they've managed to milk it and people love it. Like RP, all your big name streamers every now and then pop in. They jump on NoPixel. They jump on these servers and then they're doing stupid shit. They're role playing to be cops or whatever, and then everybody now wants to go and role play on a server. You know what I mean? There's that aspect. Or there's still people out there just playing. I guess it holds up graphically. It really doesn't hold up on consoles, but I guess it still holds up on from a PC perspective. I don't know.
Didn't we get GTA 3, San Andreas, and Vice City all in one gen?
Yes. The best
then-
3
No,
Grand
you got
Theft Auto
three.
games.
You got GTA 3, and technically Vice City and
San
oh my God,
Andreas.
what was
You
it?
then got Vice City
Andreas.
Stories
City,
and
yeah.
Liberty
Vice-
City Stories. You got 5
Which
GTAs
are
in one
PSP, right,
generation.
Those are PSP. Those are PSP that they.
They did
actually
port
put
them
on
to
the
PS2 as well. So five actually came out on the PlayStation gen, and then we got the 360 gen. We got GTA 4, and then GTA 5. But then GTA 5, they were like, "This cow ain't ever dying." It's like puffing out sawdust right now, and they're still milking it away.
Yeah.
But
Remember they said they would be campaign DLC for GTA 5? It's only 3 generations late at this point. It's fine.
it didn't come in.
The remasters are already.
Yeah, the remasters is the expansion. It's just the same content again.
Yeah, they gave up on that, unfortunately.
Like what are
Director's
you
cut,
talking
it's
about?
coming. Nine years later, the director's cut.
Wow,
Well,
that's a really huge expansion. Like the game is still out there.
Red Dead
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2 was the GTA 5 expansion standalone content.
Oh,
I'm sorry, but like Red Dead 2, like there's not that many games that can match that game.
Yeah.
Like for me, like the story and like that world and like the crazy things that you discover in that game. Holy
but
crap,
there is
man!
there is like, it's not just for
Like,
you.
Did I
That's a
tell you
fact.
that like I came across inbreeded couple? It was
Yeah.
a sister and a brother, and they were like cannibals. Oh my god!
you said that, yeah, when you were playing through it.
Oh my
Like
god!
you mentioned that. That was
Like I
weird.
didn't know that. It was just kind of like I just found like a cabin and
That
it
is
was
just
it was like
lovely.
it was so
That's just
creepy, man. It was so
Uh-huh.
fucking creepy.
But then
Oh my
we
God.
will move on. There is one more removal this month. It's a big one. Train Sim World 2020 is going. So that's going to leave Game Pass and Game Pass for PC.
Shit.
Wasn't on there
So
long enough, in my opinion.
no, it should be on there another
No.
10 years. It should be
The
extended.
Farming Simulator, they chuck it on and they pull it off way too quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. So the additions are sort of not that bad. The removals, there's nothing really to write home about apart from GTA 5. But who doesn't own GTA 5 on some aspect already? And you're probably gonna rebuy it if you like GTA. You're gonna buy GTA 5 remaster, upgraded next gen version at Christmas. You know you are. And they'll probably increase all the microtransactions because these are next gen microtransactions and they cost
Yeah.
that little bit more.
They know what they are doing. They clearly know what they are doing.
I mean, I wonder if they're gonna like do like pull an EA move and not carry your progress over for the online. That would suck.
Imagine.
That
Yo,
would
the, the balls on them. Are you kidding me? That would be
That would-
outrage.
That would make me not want to buy
Outrage.
it because I was like, yo, I
absolutely.
just spent all this time.
Absolutely.
And I'm not even that far. Like, I'm sure I know there's a lot of people that like I played it up to like level 35 on my character, and I have a lot of money, but like because I was like doing a lot of heists and stuff. But like that would I would not want to start over. No way.
Definitely not.
No. But you never
Like,
know
I
with them.
I know.
Yeah,
That's
like,
what scares me, man.
like especially after what is going on with Activision Blizzard, like every company can do any shit that they want to do that they are not gonna be the spotlights.
Yeah.
Good news if you're into anime. Crunchyroll is giving away 3 months of Xbox Game Pass for PC if you are a new user. If you sign up if you're a member of Crunchyroll Premium, or even if you sign up for a free trial of it. I didn't realize that. So if you haven't got Game Pass for PC, sign up for Crunchyroll Premium and you get 3 months of it for free. So they did
Is
put
it not
a.
Sony company?
Is it what?
Aren't they owned by Sony?
No,
I was about to say that.
Funimation tried to buy Crunchyroll, and the Japanese regulatory board said no because, it's currently in limbo because they would basically own all anime streaming in the world that is good.
They didn't want the monopoly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they want to buy it, they haven't yet. So Funimation is owned by Sony. Crunchyroll, they were going to get bought out by Funimation, but they haven't yet. But they did. So it said Virtual Crunchyroll Expo 2021 is officially underway. I didn't know that was a thing. And Crunchyroll has announced an exciting partnership to kick off the festivities. Crunchyroll has officially teamed up with Xbox to offer 3 months of Game Pass for PC to both current Crunchyroll Premium subscribers and new users who begin a Crunchyroll free trial worldwide outside of Asia. So access to Xbox Game Pass PC will be available to all new and existing Crunchyroll Premium subscribers. God, that's a mouthful. And you can sign up on their website. But this is only for new Game Pass subscribers. If you already own it, you won't benefit from it. It's not got the console stuff on. It's just the PC, which I find odd. But hey, they might just want to push PC guys. Maybe there's numbers somewhere that say that more people watch Crunchyroll on PC than on console. I don't know. There must be a reason for it. It's just odd they're pushing it with Crunchyroll, but there's not that many anime games on Game Pass PC. You think they would have announced this the same day they're like, hey, look at this big anime game coming to Game Pass. Do you know what I mean? To really sort of hammer it home. You're getting a Dragon Ball game. You're getting Nier. Do you know what I mean? You're going to get Summer. So.
Well, Phil Spencer already told us that he has the interest into acquiring or have any sort of partnership with Japanese studios. So yeah, maybe.
Well, I'm jumping ahead quickly just to tie this in with a sliding segue, but maybe Square Enix should have put their sort of anime-style game Neo the World on Game Pass, as it saw really shocking sales in Japan in its first week of sale. So Neo the World Ends With You. It sold 28,000 units on PS4 and Switch in its first week in Japan, which is really, really bad. I mean, yes, this is Japan only. It hasn't come out to the West yet, but maybe stop saying you're not putting your games on Xbox because they don't do well, because they're not doing well elsewhere either. Give us the games. We want them. I mean, Dragon Quest has done well. What was that other game? That Konami game that's just come out? Not Konami.
That's the only game. That's the only game that they have.
Oh no, what's it called? There's that other anime game that's just come out, and I can't remember the name of it for life of me. That's just come out. That's doing all right. Scarlet Nexus. That's it. That seems to be doing well. There's clearly a market for it, and you can't expect the market to grow and more people to buy these Japanese games. It's like Catch-22. Oh, we're not going to put our games on there because people don't want them, and then they port them over like 6 years later and go, yeah, but people didn't buy them. It's like, yeah, because they've been out on everything else until now. Do you know what I mean? It's like Dragon Quest.
That makes no sense.
It's been out on PC, Switch, and PlayStation before it came out on Xbox for multiple years. It's just silly. I mean, who knows? That would have been a good Persona time to announce Persona was coming to Game Pass and Xbox with that Crunchyroll announcement. They've missed a trick there. I still think Sony have probably ran in. Jim Ryan's got that wheelbarrow full of money and he's like, keep Persona off Xbox. The moment he saw them start putting Dragon Quest on and stuff like that, because there's no reason Persona's not made its way over yet.
I don't think that game's that popular though.
No, but it's got a cult following.
Oh, does it?
It's got a really massive cult following.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need. I mean, I don't think he needs to do that for that game, though. I mean, I don't know.
We're talking about PlayStation here, who will pay to keep anything off anything.
Alucard just said that Persona shit. That's it.
And you say my take's bad? How dare you?
They are. I'm sorry.
I don't even know what that game is.
There's about 17 different Personas now. There was one Persona that came to Xbox, but it wasn't like the spin-off fighting game or something like that, or a spin-off series. I own it. I've never played it. It's like I don't know what it is. I just saw it and was like, oh, I haven't got that, and I picked it up. But I've just broke everyone by hurting the feelings about Final Fantasy. I apologise, everyone. I apologise. Your taste in games just isn't as refined as Final Fantasy 9 and 8.
He's doubling down right now. This is funny.
We need a new host.
No, I just kick you all out and just keep spouting it for hours on my own. Fabio's gone.
You ever see the meme of the guy talking to the wall? The brick wall?
I'm the brick wall.
Yeah, the brick wall.
That's it, definitely.
That was a good
There's
one.
many people that agree. I'll put a poll out later. We'll see who. It'll probably be me failing, but it'll just be all those hardcore sevenites that are loving it. Blizzard has announced it's got new leadership. So shockingly, not shocking. So J. Allen Brack has stepped down as the leader of the studio, and Jen O'Neill and Mike Ybarra will co-lead Blizzard moving forward. Obviously, this is followed up from all of the stuff we covered in one of the last couple of podcasts with all the sexual issues with like just the horrible things and the
Yeah.
disparity and the crap that they give to not just women but men as well who work at Activision and Blizzard. I do feel like old Bobby has literally just gone, right, you're going to be the scapegoat, bitch. I'm keeping my bonus. And he's just sort of thrown that fucking J. Allen Brack in front of the fucking bullets. Because he should go as well. He's just as liable. I know some of this, if not a lot of this criticism that's come out recently was focused on Blizzard. But shit like that, it's management's on management. So if he's a good leader, he would be checking on the lower leaders, which he obviously doesn't. He clearly doesn't even get off his yacht. So
Again, you want to
Ash, when
have
this-
enough
when-
proof that. Sorry, Logic. Please continue.
No. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Like, if you want to have any other proofs that this guy was really bad at what he was doing, like, just go and watch the video from the Axeman, The Decline of Blizzard. Like, it's really well done, really well made. I can't praise that YouTube channel enough. It's really well done.
yeah, it's such a shit time. Big up to all the developers that walked out the other week for sticking up. I mean, Activision have put out some rubbish saying, oh, we're going to make it better. They literally came out, and I think it was in their conference call, wasn't it, for their takings, their earnings are like, we are going to lead the way. We are going to be like the leading force in sort of stopping this sort of stuff in the workplace. And then one of their head officers people put up a tweet about how whistleblowers are bastards. And you're like, at the same time, and you're like, you're not going to learn. So,
But go on, Logic.
Oh, all I was gonna say was that, mind you, Bobby, like, this guy, he comes out when news first broke, and he goes, this was when the PR statement first came out, when they were responding to the lawsuit, and how they were basically saying that, they didn't check enough, like, it was a rushed, investigation and all this stuff. As this was what the PR answer was, and then he came out and said that, our response was out of touch. And I'm saying to myself, you're the CEO of this fucking company. You didn't see. You mean to tell me PR didn't tell you what they were releasing on behalf of your company, like shareholders? Like you're responsible for the company's business, and yet the message that's being put out, you didn't see that one. No, you gave the fucking go ahead. It got mashed up, like literally, like they were like, this isn't good enough, this is shit. And then you had to come out and say, because you hadn't said anything at that point, oh no, this was bad, this was out of touch, we'll do better. Like, what? Like, he's been out of touch from the get, unfortunately. And it shouldn't just stop with this guy, with Allen. Like, it's systemic. And the more you dig in this rabbit hole on their own investigations they're going to be doing, and when a lot of that news came out for the reports, it's management. It became more so of a culture, unfortunately. Like, and it seems like it is on the Blizzard side, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some on the Activision side of it as well too. Yeah, Activision was, I don't even know if they were the bigger company, like who gobbled who, I forget, because WoW was so big when they actually merged. I think Blizzard was technically the bigger company, but somehow, Bobby ended up taking over in charge. But it's all, it doesn't matter at this point. Right now, it's just own up to it, shut the fuck up, and keep moving. And hopefully, you do enough good, and you show enough progress, and it's not just like, oh, here's this person's head on a spike, we can get back to business now. Like, no, that's not how that works. Like, the change still needs to happen, and it can't just be with the person that was in charge that you thought should have been able to, know what was going on and didn't do anything. Like, HR, your whole HR department was probably shit because people were going and making reports to HR, and they were basically laughing these reports away.
Well,
so what's going on with those people?
The thing that people forget with HR is there to protect the company, not you.
Not you, right?
Yeah.
So it's all good going to HR and whistleblowing, but if there's any doubts they can prove, they're just gonna get rid of you. Because if they're like, if it goes to a tribunal, they're not going to believe you.
Yeah.
Unless you've got something so concrete that backs your story.
Exactly.
They're going to protect the company.
Yeah.
Or it takes something like this to happen, where a state literally has to. So they literally have to go and do outside investigation. Like, the state has to come in and literally say, like, okay, enough bullshit has gone on now. And then they act like, oh wait, what do you mean? We never knew about this. Like, no, you did. But you unfortunately didn't control it. You didn't control your house, basically. You didn't control what was happening. So now we have to come in and basically fix it because you're all stupid.
Like I'm still worried that people are gonna just forget about all of this when the new Diablo 2 gets released and the new Call of Duty gets released, and then
Also,
everyone's gonna forget about it and buy it.
Probably.
God damn it.
on Twitter, there was people saying let's start an Activision Blizzard boycott. We won't buy the new Call of Duty. And then a couple of days after this came out, they chucked up Diablo 2 or 3 remastered, was it, for free? It just went live on Xbox for no apparent reason. You could download it for free, and then there was people on my timeline downloading it. It's like all it takes is something like that, and it's gone back to normal. You know, people are going to be buying Call of Duty.
Yeah, I had a tweet that summarized it, and I didn't try to spend too much on it because I feel that stuff like this needs to be talked about. But I also feel that this is also something like a conversation that you could get bogged down in, and unfortunately, it's like people try to speak like of like how they have like maybe first person knowledge of like incidents and stuff like that. I only try to speak from like my experience and kind of like what I've known and like what tends to be factual. But I had a take on this that I blocked everybody's responses from on Twitter. And I basically tweeted something out, and I caught a lot of shit from it because people thought I didn't want to have the conversation, and it's just not what I wanted the platform for. But it was of the same basically thing that you just said, that it only takes a few days. Like people were like, we're gonna get all upset about it. We're gonna do these hashtags and stuff, and then give it a week, give it 2 weeks, and stuff like that. Free game comes out here on this console. News comes out about Diablo remake on this it's coming out or it's not coming out. It's getting pushed, and then the overall community seems to forget about it. It's like they'll arms up in outrage, initially, but then it's like nothing. There's no follow through, unfortunately, with that. So
Well, like if I was told that like almost like production is come to a complete stop, so it's like then you probably should join in and be like, yeah, I'm not going to play the game. Then if the developers are
the devs don't
not
even want to
working,
complete it, right?
yeah,
Exactly.
but you probably shouldn't play it at all. Then you should be like, I'm going to join them in their protests and just be like, I'm done. Like yeah, I agree. There's got to be more than just Twitter talking about it. I mean, that helps because it spreads it. But you do need some needs to be more. And I mean, it's tough because it's like you could fire like the leaders and everything, but it's like there's got to be a big change where the developers actually say, yeah, the things are changing here. Not just the PR. The people who work there have to say, like, yeah, there's things are changing. Like the individual developers that work there. So
yeah, ask this question again in 6 months. Like, if developers who work at said companies underneath, whether it be Blizzard or Activision Studio, anything like that, how they feel like now going forward. Like, has change been made? A change in leadership, or has the culture? That's what it is. If the culture isn't changing, then what was firing, the guy that was in charge back then? What did that do? If these people are still acting the same way and acting like they're untouchable, basically, because that's how they acted before.
You have to have an outside perspective, kind of like watching the whole situation. You can't have like a guy that's been there for 20 years watching the cameras. It's got to be somebody else that doesn't work there to be like, oh, look at this guy's acting like an idiot. Instead of looking the other way, it's going to be someone who doesn't work there is going to look at it and it can be like, okay, this guy, he's in trouble. Because always when you work at somewhere for a long time, people become friends, and they it's, I could see some people, they're like, oh, he's just joking, like I'm not gonna say anything because he's just kidding around, he's a nice guy. But that's what leads to more things because you have to have an outside perspective. You can't have a veteran guy that's been there for 20 years looking at cameras. Got to be somebody else that's not biased, that's open, that's like, oh yeah, this is inappropriate. You can't have that mentality of just covering things up. This happens in colleges where the colleges, they police themselves and they cover up horrible things.
They try to avoid any type of litigation or anything like that because they don't want the bad press. Because that's the whole thing. Literally, look at Activision stock when the news broke about this, and then it bounced right back up because that's just the way markets and things work. But if there's more information that comes out, more damaging news, you bet your ass that stock's going to go back down and stuff. And that's the only way that you really want to affect change in a company. Like, fuck with their money. Seriously, like that's the real way you affect change, unfortunately, especially on that type of scale when you're dealing with companies like this, especially with a CEO that got paid a fucking almost $200 million bonus like during a pandemic, and people got fired. Fuck with their money.
Off, 40,000 people.
Yeah,
but
I know
Activision,
aren't they being sued by their own investors or something like that?
No,
at this point now,
yeah, that's
huge.
And
they're losing sponsorships as well too. Like, so that's another thing as well too. T-Mobile already backed out of Overwatch League. Pepsi, I believe, and Coke as well too. Like, so people, I believe Pepsi brand is like Game Fuel. And these brands that are basically attached to any type of competitive like things that they sponsor. Call of Duty hasn't been affected yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if this leaks over. Like in the CDL or Overwatch League or anything that they do like that, because that's really where it's going to be. T-Mobile, that's a lot of money right there. That was one of your major brands. And then you think somebody else is going to come in and fill that void? You think Verizon, AT&T, anybody else is going to come in and raise their hand and be like, hey, no, I'll represent you now, like, especially when you're down like this with all this negative press,
But what's crazy is the day that all this came out, like the days when it started happening, the stock went up. That just shows you that people don't give a shit who've got their fingers in it. They don't give a shit. As far as the
market's right, they're like they'll play the bounce basically, and that's another thing too. It's like they'll see like, oh wait, I could get this at a discount. It's a little and then just right back. Yeah, man.
It's terrible. It's horrendous.
Like I find it really interesting how we made an episode about all of that thing that is going on with Blizzard Activision. And now that we are back into the topic of one small thing, like it's just a change of the leadership of the company, and we are able to make a whole new episode of this, like, because this is so fucked up. This is so.
It is.
There's been so much come out since, though. That's the thing. It's so shocking.
That IT guy with the cameras under the sinks. You guys see that one?
No.
Yeah, I did.
He wasn't like, they were at first they were saying he was like some of the devs and they were doing all these disgusting like cube crawls and shit like that. It turns out someone who worked in IT was sticking cameras under the sinks, so they would point into the stalls and into the bathrooms so they could see people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently he got found out and sacked and everything, and just obviously no one was told it happened, so all these people could have been on video and none of them were informed.
My God. Awesome. Like, I don't get it. Like, why do they have so much free time? I don't understand. I'm so confused.
They have the Bill Cosby room as well. I mean, like that. If that doesn't sound alarm bells off, I don't know what's gone on nowadays. Do you know what I mean? So
that thing about the Bill Cosby suite was just reading it. It's like, fuck me. What's
wrong with shocking, isn't it? You just can't believe it. It's just madness. Honestly.
Yeah. That's a problem. Is I don't think some people just don't believe it. Like they're just like.
You've got to think though, 95% of the gaming people that play Activision games probably don't even have a clue this is going on. Yeah, like people that play WoW and COD, a lot of them are younger people. They're not sat on Twitter reading about fucking sexual fucking misconduct and stuff.
That was the one thing. And funny enough, and I will just say this, is that especially on WoW, you had people, Asmongold, one of the top WoW guys, like. That day when a lot of that was happening, when the devs were walking out, I know like on different servers for World of Warcraft, there were people that were basically they were letting their subscriptions run out, time out, so they weren't renewing their subscriptions, and they were also meeting at like on the main places on this whatever like the main hub was. They were basically setting up and they were doing like a sit-in. So none of the players were playing. They were all sitting down, and these are people that were. And this is probably more so of like the older crowd or people that are really paying attention to the news and what's going on. And just it's funny, and it might just be a coincidence too, but besides the sponsorships and stuff that we're pulling out, there are major streamers now, Warzone streamers, that now all of a sudden don't want to go and play Warzone anymore. They've had a change of fate, whether it be they're tired of the game. There's there's nothing really going on in Warzone that's really piqued their interest, so they're gonna go and play other things. They're gonna come back to Warzone maybe somewhere down the line. But I'm talking Nick Merckx, Courage, JD, like big time, like Warzone players, big time streamers have basically used other scenarios and other means to say like, hey, we're not going to go play Warzone right now. But it's just funny with the timing. And then I'm thinking that they don't want to just burn that bridge necessarily, but they also don't want to be associated if more shit starts coming down, the hill, especially maybe more so on the Activision side. Because that's another thing too. It's like, don't think that this is just isolated to Blizzard. Don't think that, and we can't be naive and think that, and not necessarily just Activision Blizzard, but to the gaming industry and as a whole, like other companies as well too. If you don't think other heads of other companies, whether it be at Ubi or EA or anybody else, are making sure that they got all their fucking ducks in a row, because that's all it takes. It's same thing with the Me Too movement. It only took a couple of actresses and actors to come out and basically start that ball rolling, and then you had a whirlwind of people come out and say, "Here's my story." So I wouldn't be surprised if there are other people now that might feel more comfortable to say, wait, if a company like Activision Blizzard could get looked at by California and could have all of this news come out, maybe my story should be heard too. And you start hearing stories from other places as well too, which is what we want. We want that because we don't want that type of behavior at any of these companies. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Ubisoft had this a couple of years ago, didn't they?
With their
they're still going on with that. That got swept under the carpet.
All the people
Yeah.
accused are still there, and some of them are heading up
Yeah.
teams making new games. Like nothing happened.
But that
Yeah.
goes back to that original conversation of like, it kind of like people, we hear about it, we discuss it, and then it's just moving on to the next thing.
Then we all went out and bought Assassin's Creed and X Defiant and whatever else they pump out. They tease a Splinter Cell game everyone forgets. But yeah, it's a very tough subject. But we'll move on. We'll move on because we could sit and chat for this for hours, and we'll move on to better news. Some former Elder Scrolls developers. So in 2019, Julian LeFay and Ted Peterson, who were the leads on Elder Scrolls Arena and Daggerfall, they formed a new studio called One Slot Games. And they've now announced the Wayward Realms, which is going to be a single-player open-world fantasy RPG. And it says the Wayward Realms is a set on a group of over 100 realistically scaled islands, known collectively as the Archipelago, where scores of factions vie for influence and power. Kingdoms strive to maintain their dominance, upstarts seek to earn a place at the top, and dynasties set generational plots into motion. Should the player earn a position of prominence, they may change the course of history. They're saying the game world is big.
Basically, they decided to make a game called The Scrolls of the Elders.
Yeah,
That's
basically.
it.
But it says it's going to have
Fair
big
enough.
cities with hundreds of or thousands of NPCs, deep, dark, dangerous forests, gigantic mountain ranges, sprawling swamps and marshlands, vast oceans, and more, brought to life by copying Elder Scrolls. It says brought to life through dynamic procedural generation. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be like... it sounds like it's just going to be sort of like Minecraft, the way it just generates all these extra islands and stuff like that. So I don't know if it'll be as unique as sort of Elder Scrolls and stuff like that, especially if they're going to generate it. You may start seeing, like what's that space game where it's the whole universe?
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, No Man's
Starfield.
Sky, where they start to repeat certain things. It's like, well, this planet's got these, but it's got aliens, but the blue on this one and not red.
They're procedurally generated. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does say,
Lots of aliens look like penises in that game.
and that's why you
Just
play it a
randomly.
lot.
Yeah,
Okay,
top
that's
5.
okay.
So they've also said players won't be bound to a class, but you can create your own path with customized skills and abilities to craft your own spells, potions, and enchantments. And the world, which is managed by a virtual game master, it gets weirder, this, will treat you differently depending on who you choose to be and the actions you take. World events have very different effects in the life of a socializing aristocrat, a thief entrenched in underworld conspiracies, a scholar collecting ancient artifacts, or whatever role you craft for yourself. But yeah, so I'm just seeing if there's a
I just-
release date. There isn't one. They've
I
just
mean, they're saying all the right things, aren't they? They're trying to make it sound different to other open world RPG games where it's linear. It's like, oh no, you can choose different classes, different stories, the world will react different. So yeah, then it's just going to be another RPG, really, isn't it? Third person, I imagine, or first person option.
there
lots
is a
of
teaser
customization.
trailer, but it doesn't show any actual in-game footage. It's just like computer-generated CGI
My favourite
of
type
a bloke
trailer.
riding a horse through a wood. So, but yeah, I mean, they've done decent-ish games. I don't think Elder Scrolls Arena was the best Elder Scrolls, but they've got what do you call it? They've got lineage, and they're used to developing big games, open world sort of games. So they've got the pedigree for it. So it could be amazing. But like I say, it's very early in development, and the generated sort of the procedural generation always worries me. I always think that's a sign of we can't be bothered to actually make a full game. We're just going to repeat stuff to fill it out, which I hope it doesn't. I hope it's not like that. But they haven't announced what it's coming for. It could be coming to mobile, and then that would make loads of sense. But we will find out. Well, yeah, we're flying through these today. PlayStation Plus has seen a decrease in subscribers for the first time ever in years, basically. So monthly active users are now down by 10 million year on year as of last year. Now, obviously, PlayStation had their Q1 financial results, but it has come out that the number of people that played games or used services on PlayStation Network during the last month of the quarter is down 10 million year on year, and it's 5 million lower than the previous quarter. So they've lost 5 million in the last quarter, which is slightly worrying. I mean, there's a new console coming out. Do you guys think it's just because there's not as a bigger focus on sort of multiplayer, so there's no real urge to subscribe for online, or do you just think we're now at that level of console sales where it's sort of plateaued now, and this is sort of the max it's going to get, and they're just having that slight little decline, obviously, from just being on top?
The PSN numbers is literally you've turned your console on that month, you're classed as an active user. So the reason they gave was people have gone back to work compared to where they were last year, which makes sense. But I mean, a whole month without even switching it on, 10 million people doing that is pretty impressive.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? That's a quarter though as well. This is a quarter. This isn't just like the last month. This is
3 months.
Quarter. And then
okay.
they're down 10 million over the year. So this is a constant loss. But if you average it out, it's nearly like 0.8 million a month technically. If you divide it by 12, that it's technically lost. So it's not everyone's just switched off in the last month. In the last quarter, it's had a high drop. But
I think it's a number of factors, right? Like I don't want to sound like an Xbox fanboy here, but I mean maybe it's because of the fact that people switched over to Xbox. It could also be that people, now that all their games are coming to PC, they're just like, those are PC players that, used to only have a PlayStation just for the exclusives, but since they're coming to PC, they're just like, what's the point? It's a number of factors. I think Gina's right. People are heading back to work and they have less time to play, although, it is weird that, like you guys said, that, they haven't turned their PlayStations on. I mean, it's it's also Sony has been messing up, right? Like this whole SSD debacle that's happening right now, and all their other mess, all their other messes that they're in. It's just people are I guess Gamepass also is bringing people over to the Xbox side and the PC side, so it could be all that put together. So
to be honest, I think it's basically like they hit their maximum because of the pandemic and all the COVID problems, and now that people are returning to their normal lives, the number is just decreasing. Simple as
it
that.
could also be people that are having a hard time finding the PS5, and they're like, well, I played every game that I could on my PS4. And they're just waiting like until I get a PS5. I'm just gonna cut off my subscription because what's the point? I have nothing to play.
There's no big PS4 games come out since Miles Morales.
Yeah.
We got Returnal and Ratchet were the big
Ratchet.
Sony releases, but they were locked to PS5, and unfortunately, a lot of people ain't got a PS5 right now, unfortunately for them. So
Yeah.
I totally agree. There hasn't been. I mean, they are bringing stuff to PS4, but because they've been delayed, there's now a massive gap. So it could have caused that.
Maybe because every single other big games that they had planned for after Ratchet and Clank was delayed to the next year. Maybe that's something.
Yeah, I mean, it's they're gonna be pretty much forced to make all their games cross-gen. They're probably like under so much pressure right now. They're probably like, like the investors and CEOs are like, yeah, like we got to do something.
They reported record revenue, but a 25% drop in profits, didn't they? So I think they're saying these games cost so much to make, like Ratchet and things, they can't bring them to subscription services. But then at the same time, the audience you're putting them to when they're next gen only is only 10 million, and Returnal was 500,000 copies got sold. Ratchet was 1 million. You're not making your development cost back. So I think Alucard's right. They're gonna make these games cross-gen, like they've said they're gonna do with Horizon. They're doing it with Gran Turismo. They haven't said God of War yet, have they? But I think that's probably going to come out that it'll end up being cross-gen, because you got 110 million people there who could buy a game. It's stupid to ignore them at this stage once you can't get enough PS5s out the door.
Yeah.
And I think it's a culmination of literally what everyone just said. Also, the fact that BRs have still taken off to such an extreme length that I don't believe you need PSNow to actually play a free-to-play BR. It's the same thing like now on Xbox. Like, if you don't need gold to play Apex or any one of these games that are free-to-play. So I think that'll probably add into it, where there's a lot of gamers that literally don't, their multiplayer experiences now are free-to-play games that you don't need that service for. And also, you have a service that unfortunately you haven't been able to expand upon and make better for how long now. Like, I don't know if anybody's paying for PS Now so they could get the free games that come out every month or something. Like, what are the actual benefits of the service that you're providing? And I think that's where you could make those comparisons, I guess, to a Game Pass, where you already see the value that you're getting when you sign up for Game Pass Ultimate, and you're getting the Xbox Live service, like the gold service, and you're getting like all access to all of those games, not just from Xbox first party, but you're getting them from third party developers, and you're getting them as well too from like developers like EA and stuff. So I think that's the thing where unfortunately they won't bite the bullet and say, hey, here's PS Now, it's $15 a month. Oh, and by the way, all of our first party games, they're on the fucking service. Here you go, have fun, enjoy. They won't do that, and that's why they're really just they're because they're stubborn at that point.
The thing is,
okay.
I'm sorry, no, you can go to finish.
No, I'm done. No, that's pretty much, yeah.
The fact that you can stream next gen games on your like old Xbox,
yeah,
right there, it's like the subscriptions are going to be up for Xbox. PlayStation, you can't really do that, right? Like, you can't stream like Ratchet. You can't stream Ratchet and Clank on your PS4, right?
Yes,
so I mean,
PS Now doesn't have PS5 games on there.
Yeah. So I mean, people are just dropping off. They're just like, well, you have
what
these
is the
games.
actual service worth? Like, what am I getting for this service, basically?
Yeah.
Maybe it just doesn't make sense to keep paying for something that you're not getting adequate amount of value in return for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that just like Logic really well said before, like they are stubborn, because where Xbox is focusing way more on the brand, PlayStation is still focusing on the console and not on the brand itself. So I think that's the big difference in those parts. Like, oh, but how is Microsoft gonna manage to make all of their first party games to be available day one on their subscription service? Because they are focusing on the brand and not on the console.
Yeah.
Simple as that. That's a big difference. So you need to change the way you approach stuff so you can have the success for it. But of course, I'm not saying that Sony is gonna fail in this generation. Don't get me wrong.
They're not going anywhere yet.
They are amazingly powerful and they are releasing really good games. But I think that this way of thinking, just like Shaw later was criticizing Game Pass by the way things worked, and like that's so bizarre because you are having the wrong thoughts towards it because you are thinking just on the console and not the brand itself.
Yeah. I think he's gone for a reason. I mean, Sony wants a new way of thinking, and that's why he's probably not there anymore.
If
mean-
they really wanted a new way of thinking, Jim Ryan would not be lying so much since the end of the PS4 generation, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he's said some
Like-
really dumb things, but
Like-
they've
tells
made
them what they
changes
wanna
though.
hear. He's good at it. So he knows.
I mean, they've made changes though. Like they've made where you can download games, on their subscription service, not to stream. So I mean, they've made changes. But
of course.
They've just
they
bought that
can't-
studio, haven't they? That specializes in PC ports
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they have to slowly do it. I guess they can't just
Yeah.
all at once because like their fan base is, as people call it, rabid. Like they'll just go nuts.
I'll end up with crap gamer going to Nintendo because he got nowhere else to go then. Bless him.
He's going to Stadia. He's going to Stadia. No worries.
It's amazing that like they put their foot in their mouth, like these fanboys. They do it all the time, and then they just backpedal and they find something else. And I mean, I know what's gonna happen if they make if all their games, if all their PlayStation games are day and date, they're gonna be like, well, our service is better though. That's what they're gonna say. That's gonna be the new competition. And they're gonna be like, "Well, we did it better than you guys, so we're still better." So it doesn't matter.
Move the goalposts there every time. Like
Yeah.
there's certain people will never change their opinion, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Like I've got my Xbox. I prefer Xbox as a platform, and all my friends are on there with Gamepass and that, so it works out better. But will I get a PS5? Probably next year I will, and I'll catch up on all the games I've missed out on. And
Yeah.
I'll probably pay peanuts for them because multi-plat and multiplayer games I won't be playing on there. I'll be playing just the exclusives, and I don't want to pay 70 quid for a game that I'll finish in 8-9 hours and never touch again.
Yeah, like
so,
I'm sorry, but like Ratchet and Clank, some guy I heard people say they beat it like in 6 hours.
yeah.
I was like, dude, that's bullshit. I'm not spending $70 for that.
Somebody, but like this is so.
Oh my god.
Same time I complain games are getting too long. I like that 10 to 12 hour sweet spot that we used to get, or I like some indie games now that are 3 or 4 hours long, like Omno and like Last Stop, stuff like that. Like the new Assassin's Creed, when I heard people saying, "Oh, I'm 100 hours in, I'm almost at the high enough level for the last boss." That's not for me. Assassin's Creed used to be the Ezio games. There's like 10, 12 hours, well-crafted story. I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be 100 hours for me to buy it, but I
8 hours.
mean,
That's good enough.
to me, it's like 15 hours is what I like. So
Yeah. 15 hours you're looking to spend full price. When if someone tells you a game is 6 hours and that they're putting the price up to 70 quid, then it kind of it's a bit of a cheek. To be
Yeah.
honest, that's the best way to describe it.
I mean, maybe it would take me longer because I'm not that good at games, I don't think. But I'm sure I can get maybe 10 hours out of Ratchet and Clank if I played it. But who knows? I mean, I guess if you they say if you platinum it, it's longer. So, but
Well,
I don't really
moving
do.
on.
I don't do that though.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, moving on. We are getting.
It's just tired. It's pretty knackered.
No, I'm enjoying myself. I've put up a poll for people so we can settle the debate once and for all. So we shall see.
Final Fantasy
It
again,
is
isn't it?
so. It's just
You
turned into
motherfucker.
it's turned into a sort of meme off at the moment. But
Wait, that wasn't even like I'm looking at the poll now. Yes, of course, completely. How dare you? FF8 over FF.
yeah, do you agree?
What?
Final Fantasy IX is better than Final Fantasy VII? Yes, of course, completely.
Of course.
How dare you? It's not. Final Fantasy VIII is better than Final Fantasy IX.
How is
So-
that like a fair poll?
Because if you pick Final Fantasy VIII is better than Final Fantasy IX,
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VIII is then better than Final Fantasy VII.
Oh my
I just
need
like
this
to watch the world burn.
God.
Can I'm
Isn't
muting
it-
this tweet.
Isn't it like what is that like 2 generations older or something like that? I
Like
don't know. Remember.
Everything Ash does is just to favor his twisted vision. Simple as that.
Anyway,
It's his way or the highway, you know.
it's got to be done. So, Microsoft will host its second Idea Xbox Indie Game Showcase of the year on Twitch. It starts at 12 p.m. ET on August the 10th, and you'll be able to watch it on Twitch Gaming and the Xbox channels. So, hopefully, it's not as long, like 16 hours long as the last one. But hey, we will find out. But it's going to involve developers and publishers including Rebellion and Chump Squad. It's going to have updates for Oli Oli World and Artful Escape, and there'll be some
Please
Xbox.
Yeah. Don't put streamers to host it, please.
Exactly, that's all I can think of. There'll be some Xbox Game Pass news as well. And during the first Idea Xbox and Twitch showcase in March, they revealed 22 indie games that were bound for Game Pass. So hopefully, there's going to be some sort of announcements like that. But yeah, I mean, the first one wasn't great.
It was painful. I watched the whole thing.
And me too.
Oh, it was a good 3 hours of just women saying, "I don't know when you play this type of game. Oh no, this doesn't look like something I would enjoy."
Jenna, please be very careful with what you are saying, because like it was just painful. 3 hours of women talking, and then someone clip that, and we are fucked. Okay, be really careful.
I'll rephrase it. 3 hours of brainless, pretty women talking, saying, "No, I'm joking." No, they just clearly they didn't have an interest in the games they were there to present. They were there because it was a presenting kind of, influencer type role that would have furthered their career. Let's be honest, they were there because of that. That's the reason they took it. Whereas there was other people potentially of any gender. Don't worry, Fabio, I'm not going to offend anyone this time. Who could have gone out there and just had a real interest in the indie games and the type of games they were showing, and just brought more interest to it. It was just like, I know Ash, we mentioned it before on one of the other shows where they would go show a game for 10 minutes and look great, and then it would cut back to the studio and the one girl would go, "Well, that's not the type of game I normally like."
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh, well, you just killed the hype for that game. Well done. You've like literally just lost your audience. Like, what's the point?"
Yeah, at least have someone who's at least read up about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't usually play Xbox, but you know.
Oh, yeah. That was the Jeff Keighley show, wasn't it?
Of course, it was his show.
I don't
Of
know
course.
Play Xbox.
Yeah.
Me.
Of course, that guy. I don't know what to say about him, but no.
Yeah. No, it's just, yeah. I think they just need to keep it shorter, and they need to have hosts who actually want to talk about indies on there.
Who actually care about what they are hosting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that?
What was that one with? It was Twitch, right? And it was like horrible. That's all.
right,
Like,
yeah.
Wasn't that done earlier? It wasn't done
Oh.
earlier this year though, because I remember. I believe the start
God.
of our podcast, me and Sensei, our first episode was covering indie games. So
Yeah,
like
they
literally
did it,
like
3 hours. Yeah.
Yeah,
They hosted another one. Xbox
I
teamed up
remember,
again.
and I remember my buddy Money. I remember Sensei. All of them basically saying that I actually tuned in and watched it. I kind of read the news after it. Was like the people that were hosting it, like they just seemed like they didn't want to be there. That they were just like phoning it in. Like they were just talking like off topic. Like just the whole thing just felt weird. And the presentation was just like completely off. Like, yeah, you cared about the games, but you didn't care about the people that were presenting them, basically. Like, they didn't seem like they wanted to be there in the first place. So, yeah, hopefully to, your guys' point, like, they get somebody in there that actually cares about. Maybe they actually go to the community itself and maybe pick a couple of people. Like, I mean, if EA could pull...
We are available.
Right, exactly. Send your resume in. If EA could pull the freaking WWE superstar and get him, excited to talk about things like Dead Space and Battlefield and, the other games that they are coming out, I'm sure they could find, people out there that could at least show that same type of enthusiasm towards single A and double A games, Or indie games, I guess.
Get Indie Gamer, guy who's on Twitch and YouTube. Literally, as his name suggests, he likes his indie games, and he's actually fun to watch. Like when he talks through and he breaks them down and he's going through it all. He's excellent. He'd be perfect for it.
Yeah,
I mean, I
exactly.
understand you probably don't want to see some corporate guy talking, but
No.
it's like you don't want some like silly streamer like, what's Xbox? Like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. It's
I-
like their manager literally went to them and said, "Hey, you want to do this thing for Microsoft?" And she was like, "How much does it pay?" And they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's $10,000 for like 2 hours or whatever like that." Okay, yeah. Oh, what do I have to do? I'll just stand in front of a camera, look pretty, and talk about a couple of things from a script. Okay, no problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't, and I'm not trying to sound sexist or misogynistic in any way, shape, or form. Like, it just sometimes it's like when some of these people, like when they go down, it's like they're not actually trying to source like the right person for the job. It's just like, hey, whoever contacts us first, like we'll put the ad out and be like, and whoever picks up the phone first and wants a bite at it, here you go.
Let's not have like a where they act out the game. Remember when they used to act out the game?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so bad.
Cringe, very cringe.
To be fair,
There with a
though,
controller that's blatantly not connected to what's happening. They're going, "Oh look, I'm now diving."
It's just
this
like
crate, so someone
It's
behind screens.
it's
doing
not
what
it's
they
not as
should.
bad as that girl where she was hugging and kissing that connectimal, and it wasn't even there. She's like,
Oh my god.
and it's. I still laugh at that to this day. It's terrible.
Oh man.
it's just like the ad for PlayStation 5 and the console was upside down.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that console's
Too
so.
corporate. You can tell when something's too corporate. It just doesn't seem genuine. And not like Ash. He had a like off Sarah Bond today.
I did.
On one of his tweets, he was very happy.
That's 2 executives now that have liked a tweet of mine. She said I said Final Fantasy VIII is better than Final Fantasy VII, and she liked the shit out of it. No, she didn't. She did. I had to do it.
Man.
No, I said I put some. She'd asked what people have been playing, like Annapurna games, and I said I'd play. My favorite was Edith Finch, and I was playing Omno.
That game is so.
Or something like
messed up,
that.
That story, holy shit.
If I'd put Final Fantasy VII was overrated, she'd have been all over that. She'd have been like, likes and shares and retweets.
Well, think about streaming. Did you watch the Dying Light streams?
No.
Have you seen those? The host is an Xbox employee.
Nice.
Ooh.
I don't know if
Is
you
he
see
good?
that. No, it's a woman.
Oh, sorry. Is she good?
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
okay.
the one that does like she'll do like Xbox on. She's on
Has she got the
Xbox on.
blonde, yellow hair with one side shaved?
No, she's got like she's a brunette.
That one with the blonde hair is actually a decent presenter, though.
Yeah,
I know
she's
which
really
one you
good.
mean.
I
We like the
thought it was
bleached
her.
blonde hair,
Yeah.
like with the she's got the shaved side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at
Well,
names
that's
though.
From earlier comments about women just being there for the money. She's a great presenter here. The one with the shaved hair and the yellow things. No, she's
Well,
great.
I
Well,
miss
I
the
don't I just
I
love
miss
how-
those.
Like
all
I
about
just
passion.
love I just love how Alucard was saying like there's a employee from Microsoft that hosts that show, and then Gina's he asked, "Is he good?" And then no, it's a woman. There we go.
I knew the woman. Turns out I know a different woman. It's not the one I thought, but I know a lot of the women presenters for Xbox. They're pretty good.
I miss the when they had them all
don't-
do the shows, the Xbox
UK?
shows, with Major Nelson and stuff. So
Nice,
Um,
nice.
What's it
How about
called?
passion?
What was the
No,
name of
no.
it?
I used to watch them loads. I didn't like some of the presenters, but the majority of them were really good and enthusiastic. And
Oh, most of them I watched because of the games or the
Yeah.
DLC or the code that you gained after when you watch
Watching it.
yeah,
on
It wasn't Xbox on.
no
was it?
beats Major Nelson putting his white gloves on though and like
No,
touching your
it's
box.
not
Like,
Xbox One. It's other thing.
I should have worn white gloves when I did my donut review. I've missed out a trick there. Should have put me white gloves on like Major Nelson and put it on like a white background and sort of spun it round
Mhm.
and then just shoved it in my face.
Am I
Missed
supposed
a
to be
trick.
wearing white gloves when I play my Xbox? I mean-
No, he does unboxing videos, but he has like a special set of like white silky gloves to touch everything. It's amazing. You know shit's going down when Nelson gets his gloves out.
Well, it makes sense if it was a glossy
Yeah.
finish.
No worse
Even
than
to
doing an
pet,
unboxing video and you're getting the big fingerprints outside of it as soon as you get it out of box. Like my Series X had, I was like, put it there, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
I've got a semicircle on the front of mine that I can't get rid of because my wife, after cleaning up and sorting my stuff, stuck my headphones over it like that and
Around
left
it.
on there.
Beautiful.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Like half an ear cup mark just on my front of my Xbox now that I can't get off.
Oh no.
Beautiful. Amazing.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
Is there a
fantastic.
warranty for that?
She
A
didn't even
warranty
put them
covers that?
sideways, so they were facing us, and it would have been on the sides. We don't see it. She turned it that way, so it's front and back. And the front is just half an ear cup.
Damn.
She really wanted to. She knew what she was doing. She,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Like,
pissed her
fuck
off that
this.
night.
Yeah. That'll
Maybe you're
teach
in
him.
trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I can't remember.
I put a disc in wrong and I
Man.
put the fork in it and I just can't get it to work now.
I keep seeing these pictures on Facebook of Xbox and PS5 repairs where people have mangled their HDMI ports on the
Oh.
back. Have you seen them? Oh, it makes me cringe. It's like,
What?
first of all, someone hasn't done this. You're deliberately breaking PS5s and Series X's and showing it that people do that. And secondly, if people are really doing this, what the fuck are you doing? Just plug it in
Yeah.
and leave it.
I don't know.
Oh, it's bent and oh my god.
Who moves the consoles and unplugs them that much? I mean, my Series
I don't
X,
know.
it only gets unplugged if I'm moving it up a shelf to dust or something. And even then, I normally just take it off, dust, and put it straight back. I don't unplug everything. Who does that? Which sick individuals move the
I'm
consoles around so much and unplug them so many times?
so sorry.
Oh. Oh.
Because
Oops.
here's the thing. Because of my Series S, I don't have any space to put the console in my living room, so I play my next-gen console in my bedroom. And in my bedroom, I only have one desk for work. And when I'm playing, I plug everything. And when I'm done playing, I need to unplug it so I can work. So yeah.
You
Why
disgust
does your
us.
desk if you can't fit a Series S on there?
Yeah, it's like a DVD size.
Yeah, it's really small. I'm sorry.
It's like that big.
Yeah, if you stood your Series S up, it would be like less than these two cans together, foot space on your desk. Like,
True.
I know, but it's like I need to still. I can leave the console there, but I still need to unplug everything.
I think the reason why is he can't leave it there, but he's just not telling us, is because he'll get distracted and he'll want to play instead of doing his work.
yeah.
Maybe that's a really good point, and maybe that's the thing. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
tell you, but yeah, maybe.
He's too addicted to gaming, so he's like, oh god, if I see it, I won't want to do anything other than game.
Or maybe you have so many guitars, it's like your guitars are on top of a table too. Like how many guitars do you
Damn.
have or something? Jesus.
I
Just need,
still
a,
have.
just need to build a mount for the Xbox.
Yeah.
Build a mount for the guitar, just nice little shelf.
Put it on
Between
top of that
the
shelf
and
in the
yellow
background.
electric, just put a shelf there, you'd be fine.
There we go.
Is that for Guitar Hero, the game, or
Yeah.
That's for the
That's what
Guitar
Guitar
Idol expansion for the Mega Drive 4, and you can hear more about that in our first episode of our We Blow Carts podcast. That is now on YouTube.
that's for his
Slide
air
it in
guitar
there.
show.
Sponsorship. Haha.
You ever seen those air guitar superstars where they play
Yeah.
live shows?
Jesus Christ! Don't say that.
They also have to pack up their guitar afterwards because they don't have enough room for it.
Just like Fabian, his air guitar.
I'm scared if you can make a living off air guitar. Like I'm just scared of the world. Like
Well, at that point, aren't you just a part-time air guitarist and then a part-time mime? Like you're a mime.
yeah,
At that
basically.
point, right? Like you're like even like but like a loc, because the only thing that you can do is the whole air guitar thing, right? So it's like past that, it's like you're not over here like tugging on fucking rope and you know what I mean? There's no like
Box.
But yeah, it's like no, it's literally just the fuck.
To be fair, right, I wouldn't be surprised people can make money being an air guitarist. I mean, people are making money fucking selling bathwater nowadays. So, I mean, the world's an oyster for making money.
People are making money sitting inside of a hot tub writing names on their body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like
Dude,
humping
I-
giant
I-
inflatable
I-
bananas.
Yeah.
And
Have you
that's-
seen? Have
and
you
that's
looked at
where-
Twitch lately? My God,
And
Twitch has
this-
gotten worse.
And that's where someone comes up with mentioning that we need that KY Jelly sponsorship, okay?
I saw yesterday I saw a stream with two girls in a hot tub. One was standing backwards. So
Alucard, you
look
want
at
to
her
tell
butt.
us something here?
There's
Is this what you're
one
doing
was-
your free
This
time?
is on Twitch.
But one was
not on the podcast. Not on the podcast. Please.
This doesn't sound like this was on Twitch, man.
Yeah,
was
that's called
one-
Pornhub.
one-
Alucard.
One
You're
was
looking at the wrong side.
standing, had her back face to the camera, and one was staring forward. And that was the whole stream. I mean, this is on Twitch.
And he watched it for
terrible.
6
You watched it?
hours.
And you watched it.
He was researching for he was doing research
s-
for the podcast. It was for this
Yeah.
moment right here.
And I said subscribe all the way. No, that's
I think it's amazing how Alucard was criticizing the Blizzard employees by saying that they have nothing to do, and then now he's just admitting that he's watching this thing.
Doesn't go to work. He just sits and watches Twitch streams
Yeah.
for hours.
But
That's
I
why he
was
wants
like,
that stimulus check. He's got to keep getting the money for those names on his
But I
on
was
their
like,
arms.
How much worse can it possibly get? Like, and I thought you're supposed to be playing games. You don't have to, right? I guess anymore.
Mate, if I made how much-
They changed.
I
Yeah.
tell you what, if we made as much money as they did, me and Gina would stand there facing and not moving. I bet we would.
I'd do it for a quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
I'll do it in a hot tub. I don't care. It's just I
Even-
wish I'd
even
thought of
more.
it first. Honestly, fair play to them for coming up with something like that they can
Yeah.
make money in.
This is why nobody goes
exploiting
back to
idiots.
work, I guess. That's why there's, like all these retail stores are begging people to work. I guess this is why, because you could just stream in a hot tub. I don't
The amount
know.
of articles I read in the UK about these
Hmm.
women who have become they're
Oh.
earning 6-7 times more than they used to from OnlyFans.
Yeah,
It's like,
fantastic.
we live in
Uh.
a world where there is Pornhub, right? Like it's free. There's infinite. There's more porn and naked women than you will ever see in your life on the internet. And some
Yeah.
people are waking up and going, "She's quite pretty. I'm gonna pay to see photos of her
Well,
almost
no,
naked or naked."
First, I'm
Yeah.
gonna subscribe, and then I'm
Ah.
going. You have to subscribe first before you have the ability to pay for what they give you.
Like we are now just.
And you
getting
know that
the-
from from experience.
Let me write this
That's it.
down. Let me write this down for my my theory.
Now we're gonna go from
Where's Newman Fortboy to join us in this pretty awesome conversation?
we're gonna go from the OnlyFans discussion into Duke Nukem, as the Embracer Group has bought 7
Perfect segue.
studios, including Duke Nukem's 3D Realms. So Embracer Group.
Embrace it. Yeah.
Say
Uh,
that 5 times.
So
Yeah.
they've been buying up loads of people. They own Gearbox, THQ Nordic, Deep Silver. They've just bought 7 new studios, including 3D Realms, Ghost Ship Games, who make Deep Rock Galactic, Slipgate Ironworks, a VR studio, Forcefield, the people that made Huntdown, Easy Trigger, DigiX Art, and mobile studio Crazy Labs. And they also bought the merchandise company Grimfrost, who focus on Viking merchandise. So there you go. They've proper expanded in all the directions. They've got classics,
Yeah.
they've got modern, they've got indie, VR, mobile, and Viking merchandise. So
And Viking merchandise, yeah.
They
fucking
spent-
How many studios they own now? It's like 100 odd, isn't it?
2,050,000,050. It wouldn't surprise me. They spent
Hey, they're making good games.
315 million in US dollars for that
Wow.
big splash of cash, which is the first one they've done since buying Gearbox in February. So yeah, they now own the rights to Duke Nukem, which is really odd because
It's that.
Mm.
Let's be
Gearbox
honest.
did the last one, didn't they?
Is dead.
yeah, the last one
Yeah.
sort of killed it. I say that I bought Duke Nukem on the sale
did.
this week. The £2 something, like the remastered original.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh, the 3D remastered.
And
maybe.
a mystery
I think
pack, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
all of them in. Yeah, it's pretty
something
good.
like that. It's not a bad price though. So,
Yeah.
but they've
Yeah,
been
but, like-
acquired.
Yeah, but like I'm sorry, but Duke Nukem nowadays is just for the nostalgia of the original games and the 3D
Mhm.
game. Simple as that, but there's no way, in my opinion, for them to do a new Duke Nukem game and be good. Because the last time we had that, holy fucking
Whoa,
shit.
whoa! Couldn't you draw a willy on the wall with a poo in the
Yeah,
newest
you
Duke
can do a lot of
Nukem?
stuff in that
I mean,
forever.
what more do you want from a game?
But maybe they're gonna revitalize it like they did with Tomb Raider. Who knows? You never know.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Well,
maybe,
like
but like I don't
what's
know.
stupid? I don't
I
know,
think it's
man.
so difficult for them to try to revitalize Duke Nukem, especially after where we have Doom back and stronger than ever, and also Wolfenstein back. I think it's so difficult for
Yeah,
them
but
to
they're very
try.
different games though, because like Duke Nukem is like campy, it's funny, it's stupid,
Yeah.
It's almost like Saints Row. Like Saints Row found its footing next to GTA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done. Mm-hmm.
You've got to remember
Crack,
though that
Crackdown 3 also.
3D Realms did the original Prey, which was awesome. They're one of the people they published it as such.
Yeah.
So
They're not bad developers. They just
no,
had a
Yeah,
lot
they
of
are.
unlucky streak of 10 years or however long it took for them to.
yeah, I mean they've
It
got that
was like
massive back catalogue now
12,
though. So they've got
12
like
years.
Commander
before that.
Keen and stuff like that. There's a lot of back catalogue for classic games that I'd love to see remastered and pumped out. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, like
So
imagine if that latest Duke Nukem game actually came out when it was supposed to, it would have probably sold a lot
yeah,
more
for
than it
sure,
did,
Yeah.
for sure,
because
for
that's
sure.
basically what it was. That's what it was made for. It was made for that time period, not
Yeah,
for when it actually came out.
Well,
So
the joke because
like,
the
Yeah.
jokes weren't landing when they finally
yeah,
came out. It's like the references, like
yeah,
you really didn't get them if because like you said, it didn't launch when it was supposed to.
exactly.
they also made
Like,
a mobile version, a 3D mobile version of Prey. What more do you want?
Mhm.
I mean, I didn't even know that existed till I've just googled it now.
interesting.
So
just go, nice,
called
well
Prey
done.
Invasion.
Yeah, who
But
knows? They may surprise us.
that's not the
Let's hope
only
so.
acquisition this week either.
Let's hope.
So there was also Dotemu, who made Dotemu, who made Streets of Rage 4. They've now been acquired by Focus Home Interactive. And basically .emu or .mu it might be. They basically do like retro games, like inspired games. So some of the games they have made include, obviously, the newest one is Streets of Rage 4. They're doing that Turtle Shredder's Revenge, which looks awesome. They're doing that Metal Slug Tactics game.
Nice.
They did the Wonder Boy game. They did Pang Adventures, Titan Quest, the YS games. They've done the Another World 20th Anniversary Edition. They've done loads of stuff. Like I say, loads of like classic inspired or remakes or sequels.
Pretty good acquisition.
Yeah, that's a really good acquisition for Focus. So they've brought them in, and hopefully they just let them keep doing it. What they've been doing already, do you know what I mean? So keep at it, keep doing retro focused stuff.
Like I think it's just a shame because, in my opinion, in some aspects, because I would love to see Microsoft to make a partnership or any sort of deal. So the studio from Streets of Rage 4 to make a Battletoads game, another Battletoads game, you know what I mean? Because yeah, I love the Battletoads, but I would also love a Battletoads game focused on the way more on the beat 'em up aspect, way more than the last one that we had.
Well, Microsoft has a very close relationship with Focus anyway. A lot of their games are on Game Pass PC and Xbox Game Pass. Plague Tales come into Game Pass day one, so.
But like, is it close enough to make a first party game?
Maybe one day. I mean, they've made some decent games. I would think I would like to see Focus become a Microsoft company, just because it would really bolster Game Pass PC, because they've put out so many classic PC games. it's just unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? So
And it seems like they have a good like handle on it. Like it's more like a niche kind of thing, where it's
Yeah.
like it's not just somebody coming in saying, "Hey, I'm gonna remake this old game" or something. Like it's like they really take their time and like with these classic games and stuff and these retro styled games. So it would definitely be nice too, especially since Microsoft's already said that they wanted to focus more too with Game Pass on the PC side as well. So that could
Yeah.
definitely help out. I mean, we've already seen it like with Bethesda now with the original Fallout games. It's like where we've
Yep.
gotten like those retro games because of that acquisition. So that could be a really cool partnership if they, can nail that in. Even if they don't necessarily acquire them, even if they just continue to say, "Hey, you continue to make these retro things, and hopefully we can make good enough deals where you could put them on Game Pass for us."
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd love
for
I'd
sure.
love to see more retro PC games come to Game Pass PC
Yeah.
because a lot of these developers, they're not doing it with them anymore. Like, give us all the old Tomb Raider games on Game Pass PC. People will play them. It's not going to cost you out. You've already got them. They're already working on PC. PC Game Pass is actually probably the most easiest service to put your games on. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like it could give a whole lease of life to tons and tons and tons of older series out there that haven't done much in a while.
But in terms of the acquisitions, like there is no way to deny that it is always a possibility. Like it's not just because a studio is now part of a publisher that just that's it. That door is closed. Like Microsoft has proved already that it is willing to buy entire publishers
Right.
Yeah, there's
just
about
to
focus.
add games on Game Pass. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they could find the value in that, absolutely, they'll definitely go after them. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Unless if it is a EA or Activision, that has no value at all. Sorry.
I mean, they've got loads of
FIFA
cool
isn't
games.
the number one, world selling sports game in the world like every single year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
No.
kidding about that.
Yeah, no, I know, but
Yeah,
Yeah, but I don't think Microsoft
think
would
it's like
take that risk.
well, you were kidding. That was a stupid joke. Okay, keep it to yourself. Don't do it again.
Oh, but
Good
yes.
place, Fabio.
What?
didn't you get the memo? I'm replacing you.
Ah,
Surely.
Come on.
Damn.
Slowly but surely.
They wanted to wait till after the podcast was done, but shit happens.
Yeah.
You know you are just a guest because me and Nash approved you as a guest.
Oh,
you know.
damn. All right.
Touche.
There you go. I've
Brandon
muted
Lee.
him. I've muted him and hidden him. He can't be seen, lads. He's gone. Shall I let him back
Is
in?
it becoming the XBL Sensei podcast from next week? Those
Oh
two
my
are coming
God.
in permanent.
We'll let you back in if you
shipping
behave.
Fabio out.
So it's funny. I just saw
Jesus
Sensei in the on YouTube. He put, or on the chat, he put, "I'm playing 11 Splitgate." I just reinstalled it because I had to check my Steam because the last time I played Splitgate was back in 2018.
Wow.
It was like early, like it was. I got invited to it. I think I applied for like the alpha testing or whatever it was, and I'll tell you, I installed it last night. Playing that versus like what I remember back in 2018, it's a totally different game. It's actually pretty fun. I don't see myself playing it after Halo comes out. I'll be honest with you, but but for what it is right now, putting up a Portal, it's Portal and Halo. Like if
Yeah.
Portal and Halo had a baby, you know what I mean?
What it
Like
looks like.
Nice.
Nice.
I saw some gameplays that you guys were posting, like really awesome.
I recorded a little bit of gameplay I had last night, and it was just because you could literally set a portal up on one side, set a portal up where like the enemies are spawning, and then have a sniper or a shotgun, and as they're running by, because you could also set the portal clarity, like how good the picture is when you're looking through the portal. Like if you have a decent enough like graphics card or whatever, even if you're playing on console, and you could just kill people through the portals. You didn't even have to go through the fucking thing. You could just shoot
Jeez.
through the portal. Your bullets will come out on the other end. So
Yeah,
you could do
it's
some
just
like-
crazy
That's
shit.
awesome. Nice.
So I was enjoying myself playing a little bit last night. Yeah,
It seems to be doing well though, because they keep having to like increase server
The
loads and
servers
stuff
are on
because they just
fire.
can't
My
keep
buddy-
up with them.
Yeah,
The
the
demand's
servers are on fire.
amazing.
yeah.
That is
But
fantastic.
this is like one of those games too where I feel like I don't know if it'll be coming out anytime soon because it's gonna be one of those like we're getting up to that point like where it's getting a lot of interest and stuff. So let's not mess up a good thing. Let's just we're still working on it, but hey, you could buy all these coins, split coins. You know, you could already buy in-game currency to get skins and stuff. They've already found out how to
Oh,
monetize
man.
it. So it's already at that. So if they could still keep it, because I think that would be cool if they launched it free to play and they just kept the whole thing like that, because you could have that, and they already have a battle pass feature in there as well
Yeah.
too. So, you know, they've already found out how to monetize it. So they
Game's
might
not
not
even out. It already
necessarily
has a battle pass. All right.
already has it's not, you don't have to pay for it, so it's similar to like
Oh,
what Halo's
okay.
doing. Yeah, you don't have to, but you do. But like and I think all of their like their coin, it's called split coins. When you purchase them or whatever, it's only for cosmetics. Like there's no like advantage or anything like that. You can't buy
That's
weapons.
good.
I mean,
It's just skins and stuff.
That's not bad. Look at Ark. It had like 6 expansions before it got released. I mean,
Right.
that's the way things go now. Early access just means you
Escape
can't have
from
a go
Tarkov.
at us. Yeah. You
I don't know
can't.
if you guys or Escape from Tarkov.
Yeah.
I love Escape from Tarkov. I've been playing since November of 2019. I don't see that game coming out like remotely soon. Like at least another 2 years minimum, 2-3 years. Because
Jeez.
but from when I played it November 2019 to playing it now, it's a whole different game, and it plays like I mean, it played good back then. It plays great now. So I can imagine what another year or two under development will do for it. You know.
I mean,
That's
games like that are
interesting.
never. They're always under development. So it's like, do they ever really release? Like, you know, even when they say like, oh yeah, it finally
1.0.
released, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's still being developed. Like,
True.
you know.
Yep.
I just hope they don't, keep developing it, increase their server numbers, and really go all out thinking it's a hit, and then Battlefield and Halo dropping the player count. Goes off.
Right there. Yeah.
Hopefully they've
Unfortunate for
only
them.
rented servers for 3 months, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if I was them, I wouldn't have signed up for anything longer.
Yep.
And on that positive bombshell note, we'll call that the end of the show. Big thank you to everyone who's watched live, everyone who's chatted, Sensei. There was a guy right at the beginning who said hello, Niprut. So hello, first time I've seen you in chat. So I replied in comment, but thank you for jumping on. Big thank you to everyone who watches this later on demand, and all the people that are listening to this on Spotify, Google Podcasts, all that sort of stuff. We couldn't do this without you tuning in, otherwise we'd just be talking to each other. But hey, thank you very much. Thank you, Logic, for coming on as a guest. Really nice to have you on.
No, thank you guys for having me. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Where can
Even your
people
sh- even
find
your
you?
shit- Well, I was gonna say I appreciate it, even though you had a shit take on Final Fantasy. But yeah, people can, because I'm still not over it. Still not over it.
Please,
It's fine though.
Logic,
People-
please. It's not us. It's just him.
I know that's fine, and that's why I'm directing it right towards the guy. So you remember like the Brady Bunch and shit. So it's like, here's a story. Yeah, it's him right there. Okay.
I'm
No,
not
you can
getting
find me
invited on as a
Logix-
guest then.
Logix_so_sick on Twitter and Instagram, and it's unit space logic on Xbox. So yeah, send me invites, message me. I'm active. I'm online. I'm playing games. So, and yeah, I'll be around. And like I said, I love you guys over here. My sister lives in London. Her husband's Scottish. It's really cool. Like, and I've always actually had a lot of good gamer friends of mine from Xbox that were across the pond. So I love having that experience as well too. It just, knowing that this gaming community is more than just like, here in the US and stuff like that. Like I always had like good rapport with people from, overseas in Europe and stuff like that. So it's cool to actually get on a podcast with, like-minded individuals, well, somewhat like-minded individuals, and be able to kind of shoot the shit. So it's been pretty fun.
Thank you for coming on. I mean,
out earlier that you live near me actually.
Where do you?
Probably the closest person. I live in
Where are
Long
you at?
Island.
Oh, you're on the
But I grew up in Corona in Queens.
I grew up in Brooklyn.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's like, yeah. But yeah, my cousins still live out there. They're literally right over. I have one of my cousins lives right over by Whitestone, the Whitestone Bridge, and I have another cousin that lives right over there by the college over there, out over there, or the hospital that's out over there. I forget.
Yeah,
Before the Long Island border, basically. Yeah. Small world.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, Slayer is just making a visit.
I'm coming for some tea.
No, just leave, go off camera, and like I'm right there next to him. Use the portal from Splitgate. I just like.
I'll show him a good pizza spot in Brooklyn. Don't worry about it.
pizza.
What's funny is when
it's crazy to say, but like the best New York pizza I've had was in California, because
Really?
there's a spot that I went to visit one of my friends that I met through Xbox. Actually, my parents, when I did that, they were like, "You're crazy. You don't know this person." Like I was friends with him like through Xbox for like maybe 2 years, and then I said, "You know what? I'm gonna go there to visit you. For the first time, like on your birthday, one time." And I did. And the first day that I landed, he took me to this pizza spot that was owned apparently by like some guy from New York. And man, that pizza, I have to say, was the best pizza I've ever had. I forgot the name of it, but they had like, I asked them like, "Hey, do you guys do like?" Because I love buffalo chicken pizza, and there's not many places that you can find that.
Yep.
And I asked him, I was like, "Hey, do you guys make that here?" He's like, "Yeah, I can make that for you. Why not?" We had that. It was so good. I'm telling you, I've never had better pizza than that. So I don't know. It's gonna be very hard to top.
Well, no, but there's a good chance because a lot of the people, because I lived in Vegas for a few years, I'll tell you real quick. There's a couple of guys from New York that they have their own pizza spots out there. What they do is they fly the water. They get the water from New York, because the biggest thing with the pizza from New York pizza is the water, because that's the dough.
That's what I heard.
Where
That's what I heard.
That's where a lot of the taste comes from. So what they'll do is they'll actually get the tap water from New York, and they'll have it flown out to them, and that's the water that they'll use to make their dough and stuff like that. It's true. It's 110% true. Yeah.
That is insane.
I'm from Chicago, and Chicago pizza is awesome, man.
Yeah.
I think it's like the gaming podcast now. It's a pizza podcast.
To be fair, Slayer set the bar now. I expect you to come and visit Fabio when it's my birthday. If Slayer can do it, we expect flying visits, mate. Get on that plane. Come on.
Hey man, when I can go to London, I'll definitely drop by. Man.
What's funny is you guys saying you're close. It's probably closer for me and Ginna, and we're in different countries. I'm like 4 hours from him. So
we're probably with no traffic on the highway. We're probably maybe 35 minutes away.
Oh, that's a bit closer then. A bit closer.
35 minutes, so like 2 hours.
Normally, when I talk to Americans, they're like, "Yeah, we're so close. It's like 5-6 hours." I'm like, "You can drive from top to bottom at UK in that."
You're just neighbors. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for coming on. Thank you guys as always. We've got Alucard, the Ginna Gaming, Slayer exclusive, Fabio. Ginna and Slayer have got YouTube channels. Yeah, you haven't got a YouTube channel. Shh.
No, I was going to say Bob. Don't forget about to mention
Bob's not on the show right now, but Bob also has a channel. There's links in it on our YouTube channel. You can see all of them. Make sure you give Sensei's Thoughts podcast a listen. You're on tomorrow, am I correct?
Yeah, tomorrow at 5 Eastern, 10 o'clock your time.
Yeah, always a good show. Always a good show.
Awesome. Yeah,
it's really
thank you.
good.
I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
I'm pretty much like the #1 fan. So,
yeah, we're gonna have a guy, Big V, Sky Zone, Big V. He's gonna be on a special guest tomorrow. So really excited. We've done his podcast before. He's cool. He likes PlayStation, but I think slowly we're starting to bring him over to the dark side a little bit. And we've been inching him over too. Yeah, so
hip hop guy as well, isn't he?
Yes, he does. Yeah, music videos and stuff. He's really cool.
Yeah, I was chatting to him on Twitter the other day. Actually, he's really cool.
So even if you can't catch us live tomorrow, don't worry about it. Like, we'll have the replay up. Same thing, Spotify, YouTube. But it should be a good one. I'm really excited for it.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. So we'll call that a day. Thank you very much, everyone. And we will see you. We'll not see you next week. I am not here, so we're not doing a show next week. Apologies. It will be the week after, which is the 21st of August. We're back here at 8 p.m. UK time, Saturday the 21st. So we'll see you then. Bye.
Sounds good. Have a good one.